Yo. In the days of old, 5 elements were known. MCing, DJing, graffiti had grown. B-boy and knowledge, the pillars of the game. But a 6th emerged, adding to the flame. Comics and hip-hop, a fusion so tight. Visual storytelling, lyrics that ignite. From the pages to the beats, a seamless blend. The 6th element, where 2 worlds transcend.
Welcome to the 6th Element Show, where comics and hip-hop flow. Reno and Stu guiding the way, bringing you the culture every day. Welcome to the 6th Element Show, where comics and hip-hop flow. Reno and Stu.
What up, y'all? Welcome to the 6th Element Show, where we get it in every week, every Wednesday and Saturday. It's Reno and Stu. Stu Dog, what up?
What up?
Tonight we got a crazy show as all. We got a big show tonight. Hang in, strap in, buckle your seatbelt. We going in. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a long one. We got a lot to cover, and topics might get a bit heated in a good way, though. In a good way. In a passionate,
in a good way.
Good and warm, like, you know. Here we go. All right. First of all, we go talk about Peacemaker. Okay, season 2, episode 7. This is the penultimate episode, and it goes a bit. It goes a lot of. I mean, bottom line is we get back to Earth X. We get back to the Nazi Earth, the Nazi reality where the Nazis won the war, and all that entails. But we're gonna get deeper on it tonight. I mean, yeah, we're gonna review the episode. We're gonna talk about, you know, what happened in the episode and recap it and all that good stuff, and talk about the DCU and Peacemaker and all that entails. But we're gonna get a little deeper tonight because James Gunn is writing about the Nazis. He's writing about wars in the Middle East and MRAs, but I think he's avoiding saying anything really significant about any of them. He's avoiding really going in, and I don't know. You know, I guess the question is that irresponsible, or is that actually exactly what he's supposed to be doing? And is he, you know, is that how it should be? And he's also, you know, trying to keep it comic book. So, you know, but you know, you raise these topics, man, you got to be ready to go in. So that's the question we're gonna, you know what I mean, kind of chop up regarding that. I mean, but also there's a lot of fun stuff. Superman cameos and surprise season 1 returns, and Man of Tomorrow, Lex Luthor's story we're going to talk about as well. And season 2 has 11 Superman characters in it, all the cameos, and season 2 is confirmed to be the last in the series, of course, leading up to the DCU's Man of Tomorrow, Superman 2 joint. Okay, we're gonna talk about, and I want to talk about this theme song, bro. We're gonna talk about this song, bro. This opening intro to this joint. It's grown on me. It's grown on me.
It does grow on you. It's definitely a ballad. It's definitely
it's a ballad.
something. It's definitely something. It has a queen, exquisite taste to it, and that's what makes it catchy.
Yeah,
It's
and
an inspirational song. If you're down on your luck, if somebody kicked you in the dirt, you just play that song and you can level up like Goku.
I've had some rough fucking years. What?
Yeah, it's definitely Foxy Shazam.
Glam
it's
rock.
Oh yeah, by Foxy Shazam.
I thought it was called Oh Lord. Okay.
Oh Lord, I'm sorry. Oh Lord.
It's Oh Lord. Okay.
It's Oh Lord. There's Oh Lord. There's and then there's another one called Oh God or something like that. Oh God and Oh Lord.
Yeah, it does. It's deep, bro. It's deep. I didn't realize that at first. I didn't realize it at first. Secondly, the opening sequence too, where the dance numbers actually changes each episode, and most people didn't notice this. I didn't notice it first.
I didn't notice it either at first.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it at first either. You're right.
Each fucking little intro, it basically highlights whatever characters are going to be the main ones. It like kind of stays on them a little bit longer. They get a little bit longer on camera, kind of thing. It's very subtle. They're very subtle changes. But yeah, we're going to talk about that. And James Gunn discusses like why that sequence intro changes. Also, the runtime of Peacemaker, a lot of people have been complaining and noticing that the episodes have been getting shorter and shorter as the season goes on. Gunn addresses this and gives us a bit of a caveat, I guess, an update, something that kind of makes up for it, I suppose. He says that the next episode is going to be a lot longer. We're going to talk about just how long and all that good stuff. Also, Lanterns, DCU Green Lantern show. Everything we know about that so far, about the next chapter in the DCU, and it's quite a bit. And speaking of next chapters in the DCU, something very exciting happening. And I think me and Stu especially been talking about this, and that's Plastic Man is getting yes, a live action Plastic Man movie. And you know, during the DCU era, man, I think is the best era for Plastic Man. I mean, Gunn is the guy to do Plastic Man. If you know about Gunn's style and you know about how Plastic Man is as a character, nobody better, bro. I don't think there's anybody better to
you need somebody like him to do Plastic Man, because Plastic Man's a deep character, right? And
yeah, and he's funny. He's raunchy. He's an ex-criminal.
Yes, he is.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Man. And he also there's a lot you can do with his powers that I feel another director wouldn't do.
Yep. Guns, and then exactly the look and feel. It's gonna be a beautiful thing. And then I was kind of hyped, man. I'm not kind of, man. I was really hyped for Robin to join the DCU, to see Damian Wayne, especially. He's my favorite Robin. I don't care what you say. And
I was getting ready to say you got to be the only one, because
it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. Gunn's favorite Robin, Damian Wayne, and but yeah, a lot of people do hate him. They think he's a brat and all that, but you know, it's all the things that people don't like about him. It's exactly what I think is exactly what's dope about him. But Gunn also confirms Catwoman joining the DCU. So that's definitely going to happen, probably in Brave and the Bold, but not confirmed. We'll talk about that. Gunn talking about the plans for Gotham City, all of that. He does confirm Marvel exists in the DCU as DC exists in the MCU. I'm going to tell you how. Keanu Reeves, Constantine 2. He said, hopefully they like it too. He's got a first draft of his script. We're going to bust that up. Marvel rumor reveals when we will all finally allegedly see the first Avengers Doomsday trailer, and who is going to reportedly become Captain America. Spoiler on this, and it's not Steve Rogers. Disney makes MCU history by renewing an R-rated Marvel show. We're going to talk about that. And then we're going to go into the action figure world. We're going to talk about we're going to show some in-hand images of some of the new joints that are coming out. But more importantly, I'm going to tell you all the new figures that are going to be going up for pre-order this week. And some of them real, like, fan gems.
There's some real gems. There's some real gems out there. I just saw that somebody, I don't know who did it. I don't know how they got it, but they had in-hand images of the Ghost Viper. G.I. Joe Classified. The Ghost Dog and all the Ghost parts. And that joint look raw. That joint look raw.
Yeah, that's what's Crystal Ball's like army, his troop builders for Crystal Ball. That's what that is.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. That's why he's got the glowing green dog heads and everything.
Yeah.
They're using the illusions to battle people with the illusions. That's their whole gig. And then yes, in-hand images of that. DC Batman returns in-hand images. Bane returns with a glow-in-the-dark figure. So a lot of cool stuff coming up for
if you don't have a Bane.
Yeah,
you better get that one. You better get, you don't have a Bane. Because we were talking about it earlier. I was like, you were like, I don't know, I don't like it. I said, well, if you don't have a Bane, that's the one to get, because there is no other, and the other ones are just too high in price to get. And they never go down for Bane. I don't know why. And I think you got a Bane, right? Do you have a Bane?
I don't have a Bane. It's the one figure I didn't get. No, because I got you remember the 2-pack? I only got the Batman out of the 2-pack out of a fluke issue, but I didn't get the Bane. So yes, that's a bonus.
I thought you had a Bane. I thought you had a Builder figure Bane. No, that's the one. I thought that's the one you always had. always thought you had the best.
You're pouring salt in my wound right now. You're grinding the lemon juice
I'm
into the
not grinding.
wound.
I'm not. I thought you
No,
had that Bane. I'm gonna keep it a buck. We'll talk later on about Bane. We'll talk about Bane.
we definitely need to talk.
Yeah, we'll
Man
definitely gotta
Bat,
talk.
animated series Man Bat. So really cool looking Man
It's
Bat.
dope.
Doesn't really go with the McFarlane line,
No,
but I
no,
may
it
grab
doesn't.
it
But it's
anyway.
dope.
I might have to grab it. But also Marvel taking over New York Comic Con. Everything Marvel happening at New York Comic Con. So much shit. We're gonna definitely go into that tonight. It's a lot we're going in tonight. Stu Dog may be gone before we get to it all. Raw Talk's gonna be coming in, but yes, we're gonna get through all this tonight because there's a lot of shit I want to touch on. Then we're gonna go into the comic world because in comics, man, there's some silliness happening. They've the new current X-Men run has crowned the new Wolverine. And you're gonna bust the gut laughing at it as hard as I did. We're gonna talk about that, but yeah, it's just the absurdity of today's comics. But for those of us that are above the age of like 18 or so, who actually like read comics when they were good, we still have the Marvel's Ultimate Universe is literally catered for us. DC's Absolute Universe is literally made for us. It's pretty much it. The rest of the new comics, they're making them for Gen Z, and yeah. And then Spider-Man is coming back to the newspaper comic strip. Check that out. Superman and Spider-Man crossover is happening again. DC's KO Universe #1 is releasing in 5 days. Hawkman turns into DC's greatest villain after 85 years. Absolute Superman 12 in review. Absolute Justice League. And then hopping over to video games. Coder remake. Knights of the Old Republic. We've been dying for this game for many, many years. We got leaked images, show off renders from the developers. This game's actually happening. And then just some fodder, man. If we get down to it, man, there's a new movie coming out called I Play Rocky. And it's a movie about the making of Rocky, where the actors, like there's someone playing Carl Weathers, there's someone playing Sylvester Stallone, and they're playing the actors as they're making the movie Rocky, and that's what the movie's about. Sounds really cool. Masters of the Universe Return to Eternia. Lots of shit coming in on that, and then the new Star Wars trilogy. Whole bunch of stuff. And then a little article, man. I just want to throw it back, man, especially when Raw Talk gets here, because he always talks about how we were latchkey kids.
I noticed that. He just, because you know why? He was just blinded by everything else in the universe that he never picked up on that. It just never picked up on that. He's in the middle. He's in Argus, because Argus is a US based intelligence / CIA. They're like a bridge between Shield and the CIA.
Right.
And you walk in there and you see a picture of Hitler with a flag with a swastika. That's not odd.
He didn't notice this, and but mainly what he didn't notice is that there's literally no people of color anywhere in the world. I mean,
that's
anywhere.
True.
But I submit to you this. I know he's supposed to be a dumbass and all that. Do you think Black Panther would have not noticed that shit?
Oh, he would have noticed it indefinitely.
Immediately. What about, I mean, you know, any black superhero would have came in there and noticed that shit right off. I think he missed it because he was white. And I think that's the, what do you call it? The underlying, between the lines right here. But yes, after last week's big episode, which gave us Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor cameo and the reveal of what's going on in this best dimension ever, Peacemaker second season finally firing on all peace cycle cylinders. James Gunn, who scripted the whole season, also proves that he's still got a twist or two up his sleeve, reminding us that fans can't always predict where things are gonna go. And yeah, I mean, the theory that John Cena's Chris has been living a fake life on the Nazi planet Earth wound up panning out. But I did not see Robert Patrick's alternate Augie being an actual good guy versus a a Nazi bad guy. I really expected that they were all like Nazis, and we find out that not only is Vigilante's my favorite character in this show, by the way. Let me just say that Vigilante is fucking hilarious and he's great. And in this when he meets his counterpart is part of the Sons of Liberty, which is the only like resistance against the Nazi regime. So my thing is this, dog. If Augie was such a good guy, oh, he's not a Nazi. He's not a Nazi. Oh, and we're supposed to be heartbroken that he got killed, right? If he was such a good guy, though, how are you complacent in a Nazi world, basically saving Nazis when they need saving, you know, turning a blind eye when we know there are superheroes or characters like Vigilante who are fighting against that?
Mm.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, because even in the show, the dad said he ran into Peacemaker's father, and he thought it was something off about him. He's like, I just always thought it was something a little off about. But he said he only ran into him once, and he just didn't like his demeanor.
Well, he was basically he was saying like their world is like this terrible dystopia. We live in this paradise. The Nazi world is the paradise. And he said I saw my doppelganger once, and it was something off about him, just something evil. Which his doppelganger in, you know, Peacemaker's world, you know, the 616 or whatever, or the DCU Earth 1 or whatever, he is a racist asshole. He's a blatant, like, outspoken, you know, white trash racist, you know, jerk off. And Augie from the Nazi Earth X says he was, you know, called him the bad guy. So right there, you're like, okay, so Augie's is not such a bad guy, and they try to play it off like Augie's not this Nazi, right? But I have some fucking questions. Vigilante, Judo Master, and Eagle Hunter are my faves. Yes, great characters. All.
Yo, Eagle Master is super
Eagle
funny, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Eagle Hunter is super funny.
He got killed.
I know, man. You know, James Gunn said that. But didn't we talk about what James Gunn said? He asked him to do it, like at the last minute, and just came on and did it.
Yeah, because he's been in every movie every project that Gunn's directed. That actor's been in it. Yeah, and so he was like, "Hey, I need somebody for this role," and he just came in and just did it. So, because they ran out of money, they couldn't pay anyone else to do the role, and he's like, "Can you just come in and do it for free?" And of course, he did it. But yeah, you know, Gunn's writing about all these things, and he's talking about all these things, and we're getting into all these things. And Gunn, for, you know, all the great things that he's brought to the movies and the TV and DC, and for comicdom. You know, I salute that dude. I fuck with Gunn heavy. One of my favorite people in Hollywood right now. He's like the only comic nerd representing for the comic fans out there, and really making stuff for us, saying fuck you to Hollywood. And that automatically gives him props in my book. And specifically through all the first 3 pieces of his DCU, all written by Gunn, you know, he skirted the timely topic, real world issues, but then kind of backs off from them in favor of earnest, you know, homilies, which break into the world into simple good and evil. You know, but that's the comic book aspect, and that's the great thing. So it's like, you know, you have this, you know, you're touching on these things, but he's doing it in a comic book way. In other words, things are very black and white. It's very cut and dry. There's no nuance. And being straight out of a comic book is what I love about it. And I think that's the goal. But, you know, I think maybe the question is there. The you know, to raise is, should he go in more? Should he really go in more? And you know, like in this episode, like a Keith in the Night, episode 7 of season 2. This is the penultimate episode that we're talking about here. And by the way, a very short episode, only like 28 minutes long, if you cut out the intro and the cutscene and the end credits and all that. So, but We'll talk about that in a second. But yes, the main character, John Cena, Peacemaker, has moved to this alternate dimension, this Earth X that he thinks is perfect, and to his eyes, initially, is a utopia. He's not noticing the copies of Mein Kampf on every cop's desk or the giant mural on the wall of Hitler, which, you know, I think any of us would have fucking picked up on immediately. Is it just because he's dumb, or is it just because he's white? Would a black superhero have noticed these things right away? And what's that say? What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, and thanks to him, you know, being treated as a hero, and his father, Augie, his, you know, alternate universe Foggy, I'm gonna call him Alt Augie, and Kevin, and Keith Smith, which is his brother, both being alive versus dead in the DCU and his DCU. Not only that, they're all on a superhero team called Top Trio. Unfortunately, the piece, you know, the innocently dumb Peacemaker doesn't notice one key aspect of this dimension. Obviously, it's Earth X, where Hitler and Germany won World War II, and that means that people of color have all been sent to live in work camps, which we never see. Is that Gunn avoiding getting serious? And you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know, do you really want to show that? You know what I mean? It's one thing to talk about it and know that's there. What happens when you show it, though? And then the swastika replacing the stars on the American flag, and then, you know, everything else. And so the whole thing is mostly played for laughs, including Peacemaker's best friend, Abadayo, who is a black woman being chased by a mob of white folks through the neighborhood. Like Weapons, like the movie Weapons, recently just now, which was crazy. But before they're, you know, they get electrocuted by Judo Master in the pool. You know, the second time that he's killed a group of people in a pool with 2 electrical cables. And the kicker comes later in the episode, though. I think when Peacemaker, Amelia Harcourt, and John Economos are confronted by Augie and Keith in the end scene, right? And this is where they walk in, and you know, they know that this Peacemaker accidentally or inadvertently killed their Peacemaker, right? Their son and brother. And so Augie and Keith have a very tense discussion about it, with Alt Augie firmly deciding that he's going to let this group go. He's like, including Abadayo, including the black woman, including the Asian man. He's no, you know, everyone can go and go back to the DCU, never to return. And Harcourt says, awfully generous for a Nazi. And he's like, don't call me that. And she's like, don't call you a Nazi? Like, aren't you a fucking Nazi? And he says, I didn't create the problems in my world, Missy. I don't agree with them. I applaud you if your world is perfect and you fight every injustice you ever see. Is that what you do? Unfortunately, I haven't got the strength for that. I fight the madmen, murderers, and monsters in front of me because that's all I can control. And at the end of my life, when I stand in judgment before God, I hope that he knows that I did the best that I could. And I left this world a better place than when I came. But did he, though? Has he done shit? And at that point, Augie is murdered by Vigilante, who comes flying through the window. Because again, at this point, this is the DCU Vigilante, thinks he's coming there to save Peacemaker from the evil Nazi superheroes there, trio, Top Trio, what's left of him. And so he doesn't, you know, he just busts through the window and just starts shanking him in the neck. And it's really touching after this scene where we're all supposed to be like, oh my God, this guy's a great man. Like he's a really good guy. And I'm sure a lot of, and I'm going to say this, and this is going to piss a lot of people off. And I'm sorry, not sorry. I think a lot of white people in America just think, yeah, he's a good guy. I don't think a lot of white people in America are thinking about what I'm thinking about right now. Whether that's good or bad, it is what it is. But that's why I want to bring this up, because how is he that great? Okay, like, here's the thing. He might not have been a Nazi or subscribed to the Nazi ideology, right? But he was a prominent part of the superhero trio who lived a rich, and mostly carefree life in a Nazi dimension. He was not in a work camp for revolting. He regularly saved people who are, would be, Nazis in name as well as deed. And whether or not he was racist, without his efforts, if society had crumbled or gone in a worse direction, well, he was actively making the Nazi society better by existing in it and being a superhero in it. And there's a term that is used for the Germans who lived in Germany during World War II under the reign of Hitler, the ones who didn't necessarily subscribe to the Nazi philosophy, but also did not resist in any significant way. And those are called good Germans. That is not an honorific. It is a dismissive and sarcastic good Germans, to put it politely. And there's another term that makes it a step further: collaborators. And while Augie, claims to be, just doing what he can in society, he's clearly not a cog in the wheel. He's actually profiting from it. I mean, these dudes are loaded, bro. Look at, they've got a mansion. They're balling. They're super rich. 100% profiting from this shit. Even Keith is chasing Abadiah down the road, talking about one got out, a black. And he's supposed to be he's supposed to be his son. He's supposed to be one of these superheroes. So I ask you again, man, I don't know. I think, everybody was so quick to be like, oh, poor Augie, what a good guy. And then they killed him and all. I don't think that's what Gunn really meant, man. And not to mention that their well-maintained superhero armor and everything is, just, I mean, everything about their whole thing is just, bathed in money, bro. They're balling, and they could have used this money and superhero armor to fly over to a work camp and free the fucking prisoners. Why is that not your role as a superhero? Just because there's this overarching regime that's running things doesn't mean you have to work for them. How many comic books, how many superheroes do we know that they're the resistance? They're the ones fighting the overarching boss of everything, the government, the big bad, right? So, you know what I'm saying? He's not a superhero out here fighting this injustice. And if you try to say like, oh, well, that's just the world they live in. Well, if that's the case, then how is Vigilante a part of a group, and how is there a group called Sons of Liberty who are the resistance against the Nazis? So whatever Augie thinks he is, right, applying real world logic to it, he is not. And he may not be a Nazi in name, but anyone who does not actively resist Nazis is the next worst thing. You know what I'm saying? And while, I mean, I don't know, what do you think? What do y'all think? Similarity, Boba Fett working for the Empire. There you go. I mean, you can never say Boba Fett's a good guy.
No, you can't.
Iraq, salute. Welcome. Emmanuel Villegas, welcome. The girl noticed that right away, that came to save him, especially when chased down the road.
You know what? I really watching it because I had to watch a couple. I watched one of the episodes twice. I really think that Gunn makes us look at the
you in a minute, Jill.
Imperfections in ourselves. Because Peacemaker, no matter what he does, he winds up just messing everything up. He means well, it always turns out messed up. The whole crew is like that. All of them, even Vigilante. They have good intentions. They want to do good, and they are doing good. The 11th Street kids. That's what they're doing. But they always wind up just messing it up somehow. Like, and then because like what's the one girl, Stronghold or whatever her name is, the girl was getting to the bar fights. She kept going and getting into bar fights every night. Like every night she was just trying to find something to make her feel something. But
Hardcore.
I didn't know that hardcore. Yeah, I did, but when you see the one episode where they show her and Rick Flag Jr. in the bed together, and then he's talking to her, but even Rick Flag Jr. he just messed, and he said it. He was like, "Look, I just messed everything up. Like, I can never get it right." And yeah, hardcore. And they were talking, and she was like, "Just get dressed and come on." Like, just because she was so used to everything being so messed up that being with Rick was the best and most stable thing that had ever happened to her, even though that was even messed up. And then she can't recognize that being with Peacemaker is the same peace that she had with Rick Flag, but she was just so again because Peacemaker killed Rick Flag, and everybody is after Peacemaker for that. And remember when the dad was like, "Look," when Alt Agi was like, "Look, revenge is not going to bring your brother back, so let it go. It's just not our way." And the brother just was like, Keith was just like, he still was like thinking like, "Man, maybe I should just kill this Joker anyway."
Yeah.
But he wasn't as messed up as, because the father made him messed up like that. The father from the regular universe made Peacemaker and his brother messed up the way they were. So I think it just pokes fun at us in real life about how messed up we are. Because when you look at America right now, we actually, and this is just not even being political, like you said. Think about what we just did and how we just messed up. We voted in a guy to be president who totally messed it up last time. And then we voted him in again after what he did. That was totally messed up. And he didn't do anything right. He never did nothing right. He lied to us. He told us stories. He divided the country, did everything a president not supposed to do. And we just was like, the second time we voted with our wallets instead of our heads. We didn't look at the big picture. We got scared. We got everything else. We didn't look at what the right thing, and something, and everybody watching and anybody ever never came and saw us before. Sometimes my grandfather used to say this, and this is why I'm well. Sometimes you just got to do the right thing. There's no thinking about it. And we knew what the right thing was. The right thing was not to vote for the guy we got now, and we voted for him anyway. Why? We don't know. Yeah, right. No, right, right. But the people that didn't, the people that did, listen, we built, a lot's been built since the country started. We got to keep those things in place, because once some of those things get taken away, we never get them back. We never get them back. And there's always going to be somebody that suffer because of it, man. Sooner or later, it's going to be rich and poor, and there's going to be no middle class. And that'll be that Nazi world that he was showing us, that you was just talking about. Remember how you said they were living good, high on the hog. They had a mansion. They was free. They was walking around. Is that the place you want to live in? Because at the rate we're going,
a lot of these supporters say, yeah, and that's who they are. They're rich people. They're wasps. They're fine with it. If shit goes bad for most of us, they don't give a fuck. They're still gonna be good. And yeah, it's definitely, it's gonna be rich and poor, and that's gonna be it. There's not gonna be no in between, and it ain't gonna really matter what color you are, what race you are. If you ain't got no money, that's gonna be it. I mean, preach on, Stu Dog. Jill Bill. All right. So Jill Bill said, yes, this episode had some awesome moments, but I thought it was a cop-out to make it World X. Also, the pacing in this season really sucks. The final episode seems like it could take up 3. Well, a lot of people think the pacing in this one is much faster, and in that case, you can say that's better or worse. It depends on what you're into. Making it a cop out to make it World X. Now, is it a cop out to make it World X, or was it a cop out to make it World X and then only touch on these things without really digging in? And that's, I think, really the main shit of the shit, the main focus of our conversation. And while we do have one more episode to go in the season, at least, based on this so far, is what it is. But it's about Peacemaker's emotional journey and leading him to a place where he thinks his alt dad wasn't such a bad guy, and to watch him die again and watch his brother die again. And last season he killed his actively white supremacist dad in season 1, and so the impression that we, the viewers, are supposed to take away is sympathy for Augie, right? He's one of the good ones. And initially, I was sad. Initially, I was like, he was telling this story, and I was like, oh man, this dude's really not that bad. And then, Vigilante comes through and kills him, and I was like, no, fuck. And then I thought about it, man. And honestly, man, the more I think about it, nah, bro. And Gunn isn't wrong to hook the show Peacemaker on an emotional journey of the character Peacemaker. And, he's the main character. But even beyond the whole, Nazi of it all, my thing went dead. Even behind the whole Nazi of it all, it's this is becoming part of like a pattern within his DCU work that some find confusing and maybe alarming, and an attempt to skirt the surface of these societal issues without ever fully saying anything definitive about them, right? Take it back to the first part of the DCU, Creature Commandos. The season started strong, timely premise. The sorceress Cersei was leading a group called the Sons of Themyscira, as a men's rights organization that believed that they should be allowed to visit the all-female island Wonderworld, island that Wonder Woman hails from. And though this, is pertinent, through it, Gunn had some sharp dialogue that echoed this real life organizations like Proud Boys and these other, and it seemed like this thematic idea would sort of carry the season, but it didn't. Instead, Cersei and the Sons were shunted to the side for most part halfway through the season in favor of this more generic, who are the real monsters premise. And it wasn't the monsters. But it backed off the timelier world outside your window idea, to instead focus on one of Gunn's favorite themes, which is like found family. And so in the middle, we met the character G.I. Robot, played by his brother Sean, and who was created during World War II and loved killing Nazis. That's everything he wants. He just wants to kill Nazis. That's his purpose of existence, right? And eventually doing the same to a kindly old man voiced by Michael Rooker, who plays the Eagle Hunter in Peacemaker. He's the one that played Yondu in Guardians. He's in every Gunn project. He turned out to be part of the white supremacist organization. Now, look, Gunn is at least very clear that Nazis and white supremacists are bad, right? That's the bad guys. And perhaps that straightforward simplicity is necessary in a world where those who call themselves fans seriously ask questions like, when did Star Trek get woke? The answer is 1965, when the first episode aired, and every subsequent episode since, when there was, black main characters, and all the way up to when they kissed. So miss me. But
I don't know. I think it was progressive at that point in the 70s and 60s. But I think it got woke in the 90s. When you had DS9, that was the first African American.
No. What you and I call woke, yes. I'm talking about these people are talking about when they say woke, they just mean anything to do with any person of color, basically.
Oh, anything? Yeah, because there was only one. Because when you looked at Star Trek in the 60s, there was only two. There was only two African Americans on the ship. Yep. Dr. Mbanga and Uhura. That was it. They were the only two on the ship, and then Mbanga got ruled off sometime, I think, they were on 4 seasons. I think Mbanga got ruled off in like season 3 or something like that. Season 2, season 3.
Yeah.
And we didn't see him after that. And we didn't even see Mbanga. Peace. We didn't even see Mbanga in any of the movies. Like, they didn't bring Mbanga back for, like maybe he was like head doctor at Starfleet Academy or something. They never showed Mbanga after that. And he's supposed to be almost the same age, if not maybe a little older or younger than Kurt and the rest of them. So we never saw Mbanga again. Uhura, we knew she lived, and you know what I mean? Like, they never brought none of them None of those characters. There's Chapel, any of them. They never bought any of them back. But the ones of color, you know what I mean, they never bought them back.
Y'all talking about Star Trek as far as wokeism.
Not really.
I mean, as far as
No.
wokeism, Star Trek been woke since day one.
That's what I'm
Yes,
saying.
yeah. But Gene Roddenberry wanted it like that. The only thing, the one mistake they made was when they did that
let
last.
Raw Talk finish his
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Where it's really pronounced that is Star Trek Generation, Next Generation.
Yeah.
So you had these characters like the Vulcans would be the most logical being, which most people say, and then they lack emotion, some type of emotion. Most would say Chinese, right?
That's how they.
Klingons are the warrior breed, right? Most people would say they were black, because of aggressiveness. The Ferengi, they're always hustling and dealing. They would say they're the Jews. The what's the other one? What's the other one? There was another one besides Vulcans. Romulans. Those were the European. Let's say you could either say Italian or Hispanic, Spain, right? Spaniard, either or. That's how they. So Gene Roddenberry hid certain traits of different ethnicities within his aliens. If you look,
that's a whole nother. Yep.
So wokeism has always been around us. Period. With all facets of sci-fi.
Yeah.
And
the word woke, man. I mean, like it's so many. It's so many. Yeah, it's such a loaded word now. But like, there's left. I think there's left wing, and then there's woke. Like there's absurd, and then there's like actual stuff that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like that's like when they go, they're just silly with it. But
we say
conscious. I'm going
conscious.
With
that's a whole nother.
I'm going with Malcolm X. I'm going with Malcolm X and what he said, because when I really listened to it, it opened my eyes to a lot. Where he just said there is none of that. There's no left. There's no right. There's no conservative. There's no liberal, far left, far. He said none of that. He said all that's a hoax, and it's just to pull the wool over your eyes. Because he said the only thing that is people or groups of people trying to enforce their own agenda. That's what he said. That's how he broke it down. And I go with that, and I've been with that ever since I heard his speech on liberals and conservatives. He said there's only two political parties in this country. That's Democrat and Republican. Everything else is a group of people trying to push their own agenda.
Yeah.
And when I look at it, even now, he said that over 40, 50 years ago. He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. That's exactly what it is.
Now than ever.
If you just stick ahead of his time, period.
And he's right. That's why I only look at, because you look at the words people use now. You got, and this is true. When I look at use his philosophy, you have Republicans and you have MAGAs. That's what you got. And MAGAs push their own agenda. Republicans, real Republicans, are going to do things that big difference. Big difference. Big difference.
It's like that's why that's what I mean. Like Bill Maher is left, but he's not woke. You know what I mean? Like he you know what I mean? He's not silly woke. He's just left. He's just
established left.
Yeah, he just has, ideals and political, views and stuff that make sense and shit. And they have their side and everyone has their own side. But really what we're talking about, Raw Talk, since you just came in, is that we're really talking about how James Gunn, in a lot of his content, sort of touches on this really deep subject matter, but then sort of glazes over it and never really dives in and never really says anything definitive. And like, especially with Peacemaker right now. And so, but like an unwillingness to engage the subject matter beyond the childlike views of just right and wrong sort of gets muddied when you're working with these more current depictions of evil, like the men's rights activists and the, you know, the current, like the white nationalists, or even just the, you know, or you know, he's talking about, you know, in Superman, right? This sort of political theming. You know, there's a lot of ink that's already been spilled about how the movie sort of muddies the waters of its conflict between Baravia and Jaranpur, seeming like it's about the conflict between Israel and Palestine, or some said Ukraine and Russia, but it's Israel and Palestine, but jumbling those details enough to make it unclear. And so that was by design, you know, as discussing the current conflict is akin to throwing, you know, this electrical wire in the swimming pool. But Gunn, in the interview with Variety, explained what it was all about. He said, absolutely, he said, quote, absolutely 100% of that movie was written and done before anything ever happened between Israel and Palestine. And everyone continues to refuse to believe that that's not what it's about. It's not. It just isn't. You can take whatever you want from that to mean what you want, but I didn't write it to be a stand-in for Israel and Palestine. And now we all know that movies, stories, books, all kinds of stuff can be written and come out back in the day or whatever, and then just be and seem like it was written about something that's going on right now, because shit that's written well is timeless and it does age well, and you can apply it to shit in history and in the present and in the future. Now, one could point out that regardless of what's happened since October 7th, 2023, the conflict between Israel and Palestine has pretty openly existing and occurring for decades, right? I mean, anyone knows about the Gaza Strip. I've known about it since I was a little kid, right? Israel and Palestine, it's always been going on. That's always been a thing. And so acting like it's new is kind of silly. But once you accept that that wasn't what Gunn was writing about, the question becomes, what is Superman about? In the same interview, Gunn noted that he's aware that there's been more racism lately, and that's fucking discouraging, quote unquote. Both Peacemaker and Superman aren't focused in that direction. No. And so, you know what I mean? But
they really are. If you sit down and watch Superman, it was good versus evil. It was bad versus good.
Like a comic book.
Versus Superman, like a comic. I mean, you got to remember, he's still a director and he's still an artist. So basically, he just added a conflict that Luthor used to benefit himself to get what he wanted. Which is something real world. Like, it's just something that would happen really in the real world. All y'all always talk about realism. Y'all want realism. Y'all want this. That's fake. We don't. Well, he gave it to you, and now you're still complaining. Mm-hmm. But it was just a movie about good and evil, man. And he put that. He's got to be inspired by something.
Yeah.
Anybody that does anything in this world has to be inspired by something else. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you invented the Apple iPhone. I don't care if you invented the car. You had to be inspired by something in order to do it. Inspiration equals invention. It's just what it is. It's always going to be that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, anybody that writes music or creates something or writes anything, whether they know it or not, they're influenced by shit they've seen and read and heard and done over the years of their life. And all that shit goes in your memory banks and becomes your palette for your imagination.
Well, for your imagination, yeah. And we need that. When you think about it, we don't have it anymore. It's been taken away bit by bit. People are more reliant. They're talking to AI now instead of just being like me, you, and Raw Talk. We are outside kids. We were raised outside. We played. We're from that playing generation where we used our imaginations. Right. We imagined things, and we had G.I. Joes, and we would sit there and make battles with them. You didn't have to be, ha, ha, ha. But you could just set them up on the floor and pretend that they was having a battle. Like, you didn't even have to actually physically, you could just see it in your mind, how it's unfolding.
Yeah, that's how I played with them. I just set up scenes.
Yeah.
I played with them when the snow was on.
Yeah. And when it was snow, me and my friends, no lie, we couldn't wait for it to snow. We'd take them outside. Be like, let's take the Joes outside. Yeah. Take them out, set them up. So it's just imagination is key to everything. And I like the way Gunn set up. I even like the way he's setting this up with the next Superman movie. Like he said, this is going to lead directly into the next Superman movie, which is ingenious.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out Mighty Rack said using Carlton characters as commentary on modern times is how Alan Moore made Watchmen.
Mhm.
Exactly. And that's
exactly right. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And Gunn said, he said, quote, that isn't what I write the show for. I write the show for the emotional angle, just like I wrote Superman to be about kindness. If there was a socio-political aspect of Superman, it's that there has been an absence of kindness and understanding and loving a human being, no matter what their thoughts and feelings are, end quote. And that's, that's all good. But when then why is he including these other aspects, right? Why nods toward global conflicts in Middle Eastern countries and men's rights activism and the rise of fascism? If that's not where your focus lies, why touch on these things if you're not going to really go in and make a statement? That's the question. Now, doesn't mean necessarily that I think he should one way or the other. I'm asking the question as a content creator for the chat and for my fellow co-hosts, but just posing that question and and more importantly, if you don't have anything more to say about it as a filmmaker, then generally I don't like the head of DC Studios, Gunn. He said generally I don't like this. Now here's some jokes about Pokemon. And so he said, quote unquote, and the guy's in charge. But of course, there's oversight, right? And other people reading his scripts. But he's the one who's choosing and tackling the current issues. And if he doesn't want to do that, perhaps don't include it, right? Maybe into the movie or the story if you're not going to really make a statement. And go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I think like any other artist or any artist, sometimes you leave things open to one's interpretation because everybody has their final idea of what they view things as. So if he does not want to be preachy, I can see that, being preachy, that's like a real turnoff. But if you put it out there and maybe you get some discussion and have various different viewpoints, maybe that's what he's angling for instead of, hey, here's my idea and this is what I'm forcing on you. No, here's the presentation. You gather your own ideas.
Right. Yeah. That's how a lot of artists work. And that's a great point. And then perhaps he is just, earnestly naive about this sort of thing, because in this week's episode of Peacemaker, the official podcast, Gunn discussed running the scripts by Brooks before going forward with the Nazi Earth storyline, and then discussing some of his upbringing and stuff like that. But he actually he said that he actually when he proposed this DCU idea to DC about becoming the CEO and made his proposal, one of the things that he proposed was this episode of this show. He told them about this episode specifically. So I know he's definitely making a point of focusing on these racial issues and stuff like that. And Gunn says, quote, where I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri is an incredibly segregated place. And there are black people there, but it's white people. Black people live primarily in different places. And when I grew up there, was like, I always thought there's black people, there's white people, and there's everybody else is white. Mexicans are white. I never once in my entire, until I was pretty old, embarrassingly old, I never thought of a Latino or Latina as a person of color, just that they are white. And he goes on to explain that he does understand different ethnicities now, but the key sentence here is that that he was embarrassingly old when he became to realize this. And I obviously can't speak on Gunn's upbringing or mental state. It's obviously very different from mine, but it does point to an overall simplistic view of the world, maybe exacerbated by growing up in a homogenous area. But there is another way to look at it, and you might argue that a very intelligent guy like Gunn knows exactly what he's doing, like you said. And he, while he's talked about how Warner Brothers Discovery, the parent company of DC Studios, has been relatively hands-off and encouraging of his work, it's possible to imagine that he's completely isolated from the greater machine as like CEO of DC Studios, right? He's just in his artist bubble, and there's still a business to think of, and backing off from any overt political statements or passing them off as something else is a relatively easy way of attempting to avoid controversy, right? Keeping it simple and just kind of, I'm going to say these things and make these statements to seem important and like I'm with the times, but I'm not going to make any definitive statements one way or the other, or do anything that could pose a big rift. Now, some might see that as weak, and some might see that as like, well, he's not a revolutionary, or he's not, on our team or whatever. Or you might just see it as smart. It might just be comic book business. I'm just keeping it comic book. I'm keeping it business. I'm saying things that I know are, passionate and give emotion and stuff like that, because that's what we get from comics. And honestly, a fan of comics or someone that reads comics, this is what is in comics, guys. In comics, there's stuff about wars that resemble shit in the real world. There's stuff about racism and social, political stuff that resemble stuff that we're actually going through. I mean, even if you're talking about as vague as like X-Men mirroring civil rights, or if you're literally talking about, Static Shock or something, like it what I mean? It's there, but
I mean, I think it has to be there because it's part of our lives. So why wouldn't your comic reflect that?
Right.
Though, I mean, if you're an educated reader, or if you're a progressive reader, or an adult that started off as a child and you grew into I think the comics grew with us. I don't think that it stayed in a childlike form, because I don't think it ever was in a childlike form. I mean, you had the colorful costumes of the heroes, but they really dealt with real world stuff, just like Captain America fought the Nazis. That can't be, that's not something far fetched, because you had soldiers fighting Nazis. Then you had Vietnam with a lot of war with that. You had a lot of issues with that in the comic books. You know what I mean? You had apartheid. You had everything. Everything's in the comics because it has to reflect our lives, so we can relate more to the characters and see some of the characters within us, or see us within the characters. You know what I'm saying? It has to
sort of like good literature. Like good literature is like that. Yeah. If you read some good literature, it always reflects us as a whole. Makes you anything you ever read that makes you step back and take a look at yourself or society as a whole. That's good reading. Yeah, that's something that's good.
Comics or books.
Yeah, I read. And growing up reading comics, like Raw Talk said, like for me, I always read comics because those were like most people say. Well, I looked up the sports heroes, and I looked up to the superheroes in the comic books. I'm gonna keep it a buck. That's what I looked up to. I looked up to Batman, Bruce Wayne, Superman, because of the simple fact that no matter what they did, no matter how bad things got, they always found a way to persevere through it. Like if you think about, look at Iron Man, he was an alcoholic, he did it, but he found a way to persevere through it and get back on top. Yeah. Spider-Man, same thing. Batman, same thing. When he got his back broke by Bane, he was physically out. Yeah, he was out of commission. Yeah,
he was wild.
And Bane was better than him. Bane had him. Bane was stronger than him. Bane has no superpowers but the Venom, and he just overpowered Batman, beat him down, and tried to prove that he was a better detective, which he was, because he figured out Bruce Wayne was Batman when nobody else could.
And check out the subliminal with Bane. He was a wrestler.
He was a wrestler. Yep.
With his Venom.
Luchador.
Yeah. And he's a luchador. And he's Spanish. Yeah, and he's Spanish.
And what is Venom? What is actual Venom? Steroids.
Right.
Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah. And you have.
I fucking hated Bane at first, bro. I was like, you don't break Batman's back, bitch.
Yeah. Because we count up, Batman always got over. Yeah, Batman always came out but he didn't come out on top on that one, and that's what made it realistic, man. And that's what made like me as a person. That's my inspiration in life, man. Everybody, I don't care who you are. Everybody in this chat that read comics has got drawn some inspiration from comic books. I don't care what comic you read. I don't care who your favorite superhero is or isn't. You drew inspiration from somebody that made you persevere on the more to be better than what you were.
Look at the after school cartoons like G.I. Joe, Transformers, and things. They had special messages at the end of the cartoon.
Yeah,
who did not follow it? We followed those ideas.
We did,
right?
Because we were latchkey kids. Some of us.
Some of them don't talk to strangers yet. Remember they don't talk to strangers. Lock the door. Remember they even brought talk. Remember they even had messages like, if you're home alone and a stranger knocks it, don't open the door. Like, don't use drugs. If somebody come up to you and try to offer you, don't
if they call your house, tell them your parents is in the shower, not that they gone.
Not that they gone.
They knock on the door. It was all that for latchkey kids because that was a serious now, bro. I want to. Yeah, we're gonna tell. I got something I want to show y'all about this very topic later. But yeah, Gunn. But to as to what Mighty Rax said, man, in the chat, HBO shows, man, they definitely need to have thought-provoking subject matter. Stuff that's on the cusp, or fringe, as it were, or whatever, because like that's what HBO shows are pretty much known for. And if people that I was just dumbfounded when I saw people complaining, like going in saying how Gunn was tripping for making this show have so much sex and violence, and it's
an HBO show. No, it's an HBO show. It's on
How is it a kids show?
Oh, right, it's on HBO. Listen,
because it has a superhero in it,
right? Listen, I can name some of the movies I've seen on HBO. Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Animal House. What else? All kind of Purple Rain. All these movies are rated or have nudity in them, or some type of sexual scene. Like, come on, you ain't never. That's HBO. Though. You can't do that on FX. If you watch Alien Earth, ain't none of that going. We had just a borderline. We had just a borderline killing in that. No gore.
Hey, I was watching horror flicks at a very young age, so nudity
very young.
Like it didn't matter to us.
In every Friday the 13th movie you see in a few pairs.
Remember one of the Friday the 13th, Jason killed the dude and the girl while they was having sex.
Yeah.
Drove a spear through him while they was having sex.
Put the spear right through her teeth.
Right there. Yeah. So why you
the 80s was full of that, bro. The 80s was full of that, bro. It was so different.
And I think now with people trying to censor stuff like that, I mean, I can understand if it's like overtly crazy, but you really can't censor that stuff because it's everywhere now. It's like the internet. You're gonna see that stuff. A child or a teenager.
You just said the right word, Raw Talk. A child. So this is my message to all you parents out there. Do like our parents did. Monitor what your children watch. Yeah. My mother view. If I ever
I was like, my kids would never fucking have seen Peacemaker.
Right. If Peacemaker came out in the 80s and I was a kid, I would have had to sneak and watch it. I would sneak and watch it. I would have snuck and watched. I'd have been like,
I would have been watching that shit. I watched whatever I wanted, dog.
I watched my mom didn't play that.
I wanted.
Listen, if my mom came downstairs and seen that, she'd be like, "What did you turn that off?" I'd be like,
no, I ain't
had that. I had a cool uncle at the time that as soon as he threw in the flick, it's just what it was. We was watching whatever. It was what it was.
It was what it was. And how you got that?
I had one of those uncles.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You just watch it. Oh, they getting down in the back of the van. They just getting down in the back of the van. We'll find out.
Put some hair in your chest, boy.
And I think we, in our age, we knew how to deduce certain things. Like, okay, that's what adults do.
Right.
We understood that. That's not what we did. That's what adults do. So I'll be doing that when I become an adult or whatever. Right. You know what I'm saying? We had the common sense to know that what was on screen was make believe.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? We knew this was fake because we live in real life and we seen real stuff. But
and things were not made to please everyone or not to offend anyone. Things were just made as they were, and that's what the artist made. If you like it, you fucked with it, cool. If you didn't, don't. Like, it was not for you then.
Yeah.
But it's like now Hollywood, they want to make everything to please everyone and not offend anyone.
Like,
that's why shit sucks.
When I was I think I was 9 or something, I was watching a movie called Street Trash.
Right.
If anybody's seen that movie Street Trash, you know how crazy it is. They had bums drinking like liquor that turned them into like zombie psychos.
Wow.
One dude, there was a whole group of bums. One cut off his whole joint, and they was playing football with his joint.
That sounds like some 80s shit, bro.
Yo,
I seen a zombie movie where the boy turned into the zombie, and the mom who's still alive let the boy come and breastfeed. And he was like a teenager. Zombie member. Michael, my boy, and just bit her titty off and shit. And that was just.
What was that?
I was a kid watching that.
Yeah, same here.
Child.
That was. I have
like
that.
Night of the Living Dead or Return of the Living Dead or one of the.
No. It was actually an Italian horror flick. It was definitely an Italian. Yeah. Because
I watched everything in the horror section.
Yeah.
Everything in the video horror section. I watched it.
The zombie genre was created by Italians. The movie genre of zombies created by Italian people.
George Romero.
Romero, and then there's a whole bunch and spaghetti westerns. So
spaghetti westerns I like. So, I used to watch those.
I seen all that stuff. Michael, come here, Mama. I started tearing up.
Yeah. You loved it so.
That was wild. Was it Zombie?
I think it was
Zombie. Are you serious? Wait a minute. I was watching some weird stuff, man.
I watched everything. If you go in the movie section, in the horror section, I wanted everything in that section.
I bet you y'all two watched all the Leprechaun movies.
Oh hell yeah. All the crazy.
I watched the first one. I don't really like those movies necessarily, but like not the sequels. I mean, like I like the originals, but when they start doing like part 3 and 4 and 5, like I don't really get into those necessarily.
So what about
unless it's Friday the 13th, unless it's Halloween, Friday the 13th, or
check it out.
What about the one with little puppets? What about the one with little puppets? What's that called?
Master Puppets?
Puppet Master. I bet you. Y'all seen all those. Yeah, I know y'all seen all those.
Oh, they got the figures now. They got the figures coming out.
No, stop.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Puppet Master. Yeah, I gotta see that. I gotta see that.
Trilogy of Terror, the doll, because it's expensive online, but I want them to remake it so I can have it, so I can leave it at my brother's door. From the Trilogy of Terror, the voodoo doll, the African.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
I was so afraid of that.
I'm scared.
I want to get it on his door. Lay it on the door like. Oh shit.
Bro, Creep Show. Remember Creep Show?
Creep Show was good.
Right, lady.
I watched Creep Show. Yeah, Creep Show was good. I like the Creep Show.
That was my shit, bro.
Remember? What's the one Steven Spielberg came out with? Tales from the Crypt.
I love.
Who's the one Steven Spielberg came out?
Amazing Stories, the TV
Amazing Stories. Yes. Yes. That was good.
That
was real good. Love that show.
But to me, all the horror flicks of that time, I guess I was desensitized to the violence, but it all became comedy because you're like, how in the hell did this even do this? Like, it just makes no sense. It's just funny. Like
the movie just came out, Weapons, with your boy that played Thanos. Josh Brolin, yeah. This movie called Weapons. And like I was laughing my ass off at how, all the scary parts, it was just comical because I grew up watching, so like I see the special effects and because I'm in the mind of the motherfucker that thought to put that on the screen, and I'm like, you crazy motherfucker. I'm laughing my ass off.
Exactly.
You wild for that.
Was funny, man. I watched it. I was cracking up, but it was good though.
Like Return of the Living Dead. One part in Return of the Living Dead that it was so ridiculous, but it was funny and genius at the same time. The most when they put the dangerous music on the little guy on the midget, that he like, And then my man was like, pop, pop, pop. And he was like, ah. And then you heard the dangerous music. Like, this was the most dangerous part of the film. I was like, yo, this is so funny. It's hilarious. Kept rewinding.
Yeah, dog.
Yo, this is crazy.
Yeah,
and my man, he falls. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah, man.
That whole movie is classic. That's like the #1 horror comedy flick of period in all the galaxy. That one is crazy, man.
Yeah, they did not give a fuck in the 80s, bro.
Nah,
not in the 80s. Still, not in the 80s.
I love them for that because it kept us. It kept us focused on realism.
It let us expand our imagination, though.
Exactly.
I thought of some crazy shit, dog, and like now when I think, just even talking, man, like talking to kids now, it's like they just don't. Because their mind don't work like that because they're internet, they're social media kids. It's different. Yeah. Like they're social media kids. We were like
imagination. The computer is their imagination. Anything they think of or want,
it gives them what to think about.
Yeah, that's
everything they think is what they got from the internet, and that makes them not use their own brain to think of shit, and which atrophies that part of the brain, and you lose the ability.
The internet specifically for that, the creators, and I don't care what the creators say. Oh, when we made it, we didn't believe that it would go. Yes, you did, because
social media. I'd say the internet is one thing, but social media,
social media is way different.
Even without social media, the content that's not social media content, just anything you can search.
I mean, we had the internet growing up. I had the internet when I was a kid.
We had internet. Yeah,
we had websites and shit. It was different.
We were young. We were young. I mean, I would say, when did it come out?
I mean, in my teens, it came out. When I remember having it, we had a computer in the house. It was and I was probably 15, and it had the internet. And I remember going on chat rooms and shit. We had chat rooms.
Yeah, so because I'm a bit older. I'm 50, so it came out when you had that one computer with the cow shit on it or whatever on the box. I keep forgetting what that
AOL.
Huh?
AOL.
But the actual computer, it was boxed.
With those with the gateways or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, with the cow. So it's like, okay, I remember that, and that was around 96, 97.
Yeah, exactly.
We had internet since '83. Internet's been around since '83. And people were people were communicating computer to computer before that. Yeah.
Bro,
and it was just like zones. Right, there was just zones, like people, like the U.S. was connected, and somebody overseas was connected. They would connect to each other, and we used phone lines. That's how we got
that kind of shit, bro. Go watch a show called *Halt and Catch Fire*. Love that show, bro. Phenomenal show about the '80s, about how the internet and how like gaming and shit and all that shit was created, how like file sharing and all that shit came to be, and like the people that invented it and everything. And it's dope. It's dope. But like I remember in 8th grade, which I had to been, I guess I was 13. And I had a friend there that was like a little computer nerd, and he was bringing in anarchist cookbooks and shit that he was downloading from the internet.
Yeah,
I was a little kid in middle school.
And you know what? Another thing, Reno, if you had, like, some people's parents were nerdy. They were nerds,
and they had money.
They had money. They had good jobs.
That's what it was.
They had a good computer. They had everything you needed. They had a good computer in their house. Right? They had a printer. They had a copier. They had a computer. They had the phone line dedicated to using the internet. Because remember, you had to dial. You had to use dial-up.
Like what I was saying with the Return of the Living Dead. In that film, when my man wanted to launch the bombs and shit, he used the internet.
Yeah.
So that had to be around 80, 88.
Yep, right, Mighty Rex, a fax machine.
Fax machine.
Modem. You had to have a modem,
the phone on that motherfucker, the actual phone on the modem.
Because you would call, like one of my friends, I would call his kid. His line was always busy. I'd be like,
put it on the modem.
Like, why is your line always busy? He's like, oh, my mom was on the internet. My mom was on the computer. And that's
then we had dial-up internet.
Yeah, dial-up. Yes. Yeah. Some people only had one phone line dedicated to that.
We didn't have that. You had to be off the phone for that shit.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, man, we just totally took a left turn. But yes, back to Gunn and Peacemaker.
Yeah. Let's get back to it. Peacemaker.
He is definitely someone who knows firsthand from controversy, having been fired from Disney, from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 due to resurfaced tweets, and he had the amplified by the right-wing provocateurs with the express purpose of getting him fired from the MCU, which, you know, Disney did rehire him after they had already signed with Warner Brothers to write and direct the Suicide Squad. And obviously the rest is history, but it is impossible to believe that such an enormous experience did not change Gunn in some way. And in fact, he did discuss it on one of the it was a podcast, Peacemaker podcast. He's saying that he was hitting a wall after Guardians 2, and due to the time off from the firing, had a journey of the soul, creative realignment that found him coming back looser in terms of camera work, but and more buttoned up in terms of like political leanings, you know, and off-screen humor and stuff. But nowhere does this come out more clearly than I think than with the Superman's like array of rage tweeting social media monkeys. And in the movie, we discover that the trending topics that are slamming Superman are not organically posted, right? They're a group of the genetically altered monkeys that Lex Luthor is using for the purpose of levying the public opinion against Superman. So, you know, making everyone hate Superman. So this is about Gunn's, you know, sort of tribulations during Guardians 3. The Times asked him directly about it. He said, "I don't think so. It's not really about me, but people in general driven by rage or the bots governments pay that create all sorts of nonsense." And so this once again is either a severe lack of self-understanding or Gunn not being completely above board, right? He's not really being honest. And so how can a man who was fired from his job due to a bad faith right-wing troll campaign and had a life-changing realization as a result not be writing about that exact same thing that happened to him in a movie that he wrote and directed? You know what I'm saying? Like he's trying to say that, you know, it's not inspired by these things. But to take it a step further, while a character's words should never be taken as the writer's thoughts themselves, it's not hard to look at Superman's whole plot line in that movie as anything but an analog for Gunn himself. And Superman has a sort of standout scene early on where he's like frustrated at Lois Lane, who's like sort of quizzing him about his decision to stop Barabi from invading Jernpur. And he said, people are going to die. He yells at her.
That was ingenious. I was getting ready to say that. That was an ingenious scene. And when you break it down, you got to think about it. You got to think about Superman as a whole. Superman came from Krypton, and even though he didn't grow up on Krypton, he has the DNA of the Kryptonians. So he's an alien. He doesn't look at things the way humans do. Like when we were just talking about Star Trek, when the Vulcans landed here, the humans are violent. They like just got through a third world war and then created warp technology. When they weren't fighting each other, they were able to do better things. And that's when Zefram Cochrane created the warp engine, because he took all the pieces from everything he could find and he built it into a missile. He built a warp engine into a missile and took it into space. And he said, I was going to sell it for money. I just wanted to get some money out the deal and go somewhere and chill. That's the beauty. Superman's like, look, I stopped the war. I saved lives. Humans don't see it like that. They're like, look, sometimes, like even now we do it with our own families. Look, our businesses over here and their businesses over there. Yeah. But sometimes you might need somebody to step in and bring some sense to the chaos and say, look, man, I need to really kind of like chill with all this, because all y'all gonna do is wind up killing each other or hurting each other really bad. Superman was trying to bring, and Lois was like, no, you did the right thing, but you did it the wrong way. You might have to find a different way to do it. And Superman's like, well, I got all these powers. Why not? Who's going to stop me? Like, and he's saying to her in a very subtle way, if I really wanted to, I could take over everything. And that surfaced later on in the movie, where his parents was like, look, take many wives and do this and da 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 da. That's the point that people miss when that was their argument. In a subtle way, he was saying like, I really could just do what I want, but I didn't. I didn't. Everybody's still free. The world is still the same. I just stopped 2 countries from fighting and killing each other, and making the world a worse place.
Well, and he said, and then towards the end of the movie, then he tells Lex Luthor, he's like, I'm as human as anyone. I get scared. I wake up every morning, and despite not knowing what to do, I put one foot in front of the other and try to make the best choices that I can. But he's like, I fuck up all the time. He said, I screw up all the time. But that is being human. That is my greatest strength. And someday, I hope, for the sake of the world, you understand that's yours too. And yeah, it might be Gunn just recycling ideas, and it's not hard to see the parallels in Superman's speech and Augie's speech in this Peacemaker episode. They're both about someone who considers themselves good, a good man trying their best in an unjust world. And maybe that's how Gunn sees himself in the midst of the gigantic corporation that is Warner Brothers Discovery, right? He's sneaking in political ideas in the guise of superhero popcorn and passing them off as anything but
I think with Gunn, honestly, not to cut you off, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I think Gunn he's a person that he knows, and like everything else, nobody's perfect. And I think that's his bottom line. Nobody's perfect. Despite good or evil, nobody's perfect.
Yeah, nobody's good or bad. Everyone just,
because look at all his characters that he loves to write and direct are
anti-heroes.
They're just flawed. Hero or not, they're just flawed. And I believe he's the type that loves to expound on that so people can relate. We're all flawed, so we shouldn't be judging each other because we're all fucked up in our own ways.
Yes, exactly, and that's true. But with Gunn, sort of paralleling himself, like Augie is like saying, like, I'm this dude, I'm not a Nazi, but I'm a superhero that lives in the Nazi world, and I'm just getting along. But the thing is like, if you're this superhero in this Nazi world, why aren't you trying to save people from concentration camps and fight these Nazis and all this, when there are superhero teams in this world that are fighting against the racism and all that? And so it's like, how good actually are you? Or are you doing good from the inside? And so Gunn kind of paralleling that, like speaking like, I'm this guy in this Nazi regime, or Disney, right? Or even, today you could even say the current administration. The fact, what I mean? But the parallels, what I'm saying? But yeah, he might see himself as this sort of guy that, I'm a good guy, but I can't really do good. Like, I can touch on these subjects, but I can't really give you no definitive. I can't really make statements. I can't really show the people of color in the camps. I can't really go there. And it's like, but this is all speculation though. And I only bring all this up about Gunn to perhaps like point to as, why is he injecting surface level political ideas into 3 out of 3 DCU properties so far, while consistently denying that they have any real world parallels? And, he doesn't have to tackle these current issues if he doesn't want to. He's making that choice. These don't have to be the parts, this doesn't have to be part of these plots. And so,
I guess,
why is he making the choice halfway and demurely explaining it's just about being good, when it seems clearly to be so much more? And just to finish, the bigger problem is that it's not enough to say be good to each other and then leave it at that, when ICE is regularly rounding people up off the street and shipping them to foreign countries when they're actually American citizens and shit, and possibly never to see their families again. And kindness is important, but that doesn't help trans kids who will die without access to healthcare, or when the American president is ordering in the army to invade American cities and use them as training grounds. And we've passed the point of understanding other people's point of view on how they're one of the good ones. And, so many people claiming they're not racist. And it's just, just in the midst of these circumstances. But I don't know. I think decisions are difficult for everyone, but you don't at any point, have to hear the fascists out. But if James Gunn wants to deliver popcorn movies where good guys are good guys and bad guys are bad guys, that's fine. That's his choice. But by lightly poking the surface of these more hot button issues while backing off that hot stove so he's not getting burned, but he's also refusing to let these ideas heat further than a light, just this light little simmer. And I think superhero fiction in its inception has always been political, right? Superman was introduced as a man who took on billionaires and landlords and fought for the common man, and Peacemaker is an exaggeration of America's peace at any cost mentality.
But if you think about it, man, like there's somebody above Gunn and they have to answer to shareholders. And if you have certain content that go out,
right,
and it's not suitable for the ears and the ones, let's say he land blasts a lot of different parallels that's going on today. Washington to give a call through the FCC. Oh, Warner Brothers, you can't do this no more. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that messes up the money.
Yeah,
brothers. So he has to do what he's doing.
Well, look at the boys.
Yeah,
look at the boys.
But
The boys, they're making fun of the right wing in a way that a lot of the right wings didn't even realize they were being made fun of at first. They thought it was about them. They were cheering on, and they didn't realize they were the joke.
Yeah, but at the same time, that's even to the president's. Remember when he was? I think it was on Oprah or some channel back in the 80s, and he said, "Yeah, I'm gonna run as a Republican because Republicans are stupid. I can take advantage of the situation. Their constituents are stupid, so I can definitely take advantage." You don't think that's exactly what he's doing to his advantage?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I understand him as far as his ego and all that, but at the end of the day, if you go back, he gave you the truth. He said, "This is what I'm going to do," and this is what he's doing. Now, maybe he has some missteps along the way where he is compromised. People are pulling strings now, or stuff will be revealed that he don't want to be revealed because it'll tarnish and destroy his legacy more than he did to himself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even though it's all his doing regardless, because you can choose to do or don't. But in Gunn's case, I think he has to straddle the line. He can't get too deep, because to get too deep, you're opening up a lot of wounds. And in opening those wounds, the company and the corporation you work for would lose. And ultimately, you would lose, because now you become radioactive to any other corporation, because they know that you're willing to go all the way without a blink of an eye. Like, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
So,
No, I get it.
You know what I mean? Like, let's say, for instance, with Malcolm, we spoke on Brother Malcolm X, and ironically, I'm always having the shirt on because that's how I think.
Yeah.
So with him, he went all the way where the nation didn't want to go all the way like he did. They're like, "Yo, whoa, we want to keep it here so we can control this. You're going far and beyond. This is not what we wanted you to do." Because now you're putting a whole nother aura on us that we didn't want. We didn't want this to go down like this. We didn't want this. We wanted to keep within these confines. But being that when you give somebody the go ahead to be full on truthful and go ahead, you put so much information in their heads, so much passion comes out of them, they're not thinking about other ramifications. They're like, "This is the truth. We're going for it. That's it. Who can deny the truth?" Well, there's plenty of people who could deny it. Those who don't want the truth. Those who want to keep status quo going the way it's going, because One, they profit from it, and it's an exchange.
Yeah.
But if you full on shatter the mirror, now everybody, whoa, you shattered that mirror.
Yeah.
A lot of problems that come with it. So that's why those people who shatter mirrors, they're either outcast or dead. So
now,
in his community, directors in Hollywood, he don't want to be an outcast.
Right. That's my so again, like as I preface this, I was really posing this question, devil's advocate, just sort of posing this, my sort of view on it. I see Gunn as again, I'm a huge fan. Like I've become a huge fan. And I think what he's doing is great. I think that putting these things out there, posing these questions, like right now, we're having this conversation. We had a 3-hour show the other day, and that's what he's doing. Like he doesn't have to go all in and give you the guts of everything. All he has to do is mention the shit on this huge scale from Disney, from DC and Superman and all this shit, and he's getting this shit out to all these people, and it's starting the conversations. And that's what's important. So I really don't think it's important that he does go in and really, go deep on all these topics. It is fine that he glazes over them, I think, because again, it's enough to put the information out there, which is the most important part. And then it's just enough to start a conversation, which is absolutely sufficient. You don't have to, because if he comes out all revolutionary, like you said, they're going to shut him down. And then he doesn't get to give us these seeds of conversation anymore.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
I just think Gunn is a great director, man. And I'm kind of glad Disney gave him the boot and all that, because it opened his eyes for him to be even greater and give us Superman. We wouldn't have got Superman if it wasn't for the keyboard warriors. So salute to the keyboard warriors out there that got James Gunn kicked off and canceled. Thank y'all, because we got Guardians 3. And immediately when he was done, he was like, all right, I'm done with Disney. I'm moving on. He had already got hired by Warner Brothers. They hired him when they fired. Soon as they got rid of him, Warner Brothers said, whoa, wait, come on over here. Let's talk. Let's talk about a few things. And he knew what he was doing. Yeah, well, they're going to hire me back. I'm going to fix this, and then I'm going to come over there with y'all. And now look what he's doing, his own thing. Keyboard warriors, thank you, because we would have never got none of this great content without you guys and all your dilapidated and overly aggressive things. Salute to y'all.
Yeah. And in order for civilization,
I got to roll out, guys. But I'm gonna be in the chat, and I'm about to get on the cell phone and get in the chat. All right,
peace. Be safe, bro.
You do.
Peace. One. Yeah, man. In order to for society to move forward, in my interpretation or belief, is you have to have guys who will go the extra mile regardless, because that shows where you can go and it'll spark other people to say, oh, we can do that. But let me do it a different way than this guy. He's the first one.
The path.
Yeah, he made the path. He went, scattered everybody on some Hulk smash joint. He went Hulk smash, and okay, they put him in on the raft. Now he's stuck there. But now we're gonna build along the path he made, but we're gonna do it a certain way until we get in those positions. That way we can release him from the raft with no problems after that. You know what I'm saying? So I think with society, you have to have those guys, no matter what. You have to have those people. I mean, even on the negative side. I mean, you had David Duke. You had these guys. You have to have these guys in order to see what's going down and understand the mentalities of different people and different how they see the world and from their perspective and what their insecurities are. And, maybe you could operate from a certain point of understanding. There was a time where
it exposes them, really.
Yeah, but it exposed them. But look, there was a time, and I think
the larger society, like we might not have known about the skinheads if it wasn't for the Turner Diaries or whatever the fuck.
But did anybody remember? You ever heard of or the NOI meeting with the Klan.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have stark differences, but there's a commonality within those differences that people can get on that accord. And that's just like with our society now. Everybody got their differences and stuff, but there's one commonality. We can come together and do what the fuck we have to do. It's just everybody got to be aware of that commonality. Oh, yeah, you don't like this person don't like this, but we're both poor. We're both getting effed over by the government. What do we do about this? We need to come together because what's the saying? The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Right.
That's all we have to know.
Unity.
Yeah.
Where there's unity, there's strength.
That's all it is. And that I think that's a lot of messaging that's going on now. Like we all have our let's say our bigotry or our different prejudices. There you go. We all have our prejudices. You know, it comes out in different ways through anger or through sadness or whatever. But at the end of the day, you have to look within self and find out what is the commonality, the cause of all this with everybody. Why is this person angry at this person? For who's the person behind the scenes doing all this? Because there's a common thing. Everybody hates corporations, and they're the ones that's pushing the pencils, signing legislation, shutting down governments. It wasn't the president that shut down the government, even though he's the face man. But those corporations said that, yo, you're going to shut it down right here. We need to get the stock market money popping. So you shut down the government. Yeah, there's going to be some losses so we can buy up shit on the back end. So when you get back in session, oh, we up now because now we're going to push it to the new level now. Boom. Look where the money's at. How they manipulate the money. And you know who that's who's running the world. Wall Street runs the world. The White House is just a Barbie house. Barbie doll house. That's all it ever was. That stock market.
Barbie dream house.
You know what I mean?
They said if it wasn't for free speech and freedom of the press, we would all be in the dark. And because I mean, you know, that's how we get the word out. James Gunn has a vision that is fresh and life breathing into the DC movie universe, and I like it. Yes, I do like it, man. I love it. And yes, the meaning, the messages are definitely important. And you know, however deep we go on them in these projects really is not the issue, because here we are having a great conversation because of the basically because of the spark that was lit. But on the lighter side of this whole thing, man, this Peacemaker season 2, Gunn says that you know, it does lead up to the Man of Tomorrow, and Gunn says that that Superman was just the beginning of the whole you know, the movie Superman was just the beginning of that whole little Superman universe, and Man of Tomorrow is going to push things in an even bigger direction, because he said well, in a recent interview he opened up about how he's approaching with this upcoming sequel and why Lex Luthor is just as important as Superman this time around, and how the villain's Peacemaker cameo actually carries over into the next chapter. And before tackling Superman, Gunn had already had a strong comic book resume with Guardians of the Galaxy, Suicide Squad, and Peacemaker the first season. But Superman, you know, was a very different kind of hero for Gunn, because, you know, like you said, Mo, he usually deals with like anti-heroes and guys with a lot of flaws and stuff like that. Guardians, Suicide Squad, Peacemaker to be great examples, but Superman obviously was different, and Gunn has been clear that he wanted to explore him in a unique way, and you know, included the challenge of filming the flying sequences and all that. He said, I did a lot of experimental stuff with shooting the flying, and I think I learned a lot about what worked and what didn't work as well. And so one of the things that I'm most excited about are these few action sequences in Man of Tomorrow. And he said, putting those together has been really fun. And I always learn a lot with every movie in terms of what works and what doesn't. Then he went to add, he said, I think the proof of concept work in terms of who Superman was. And then there are things that I think can be improved, and not only improved, but just different. I like my movies to be different. Guardians 1 is not the same as Guardians 3. They're different. And the difference, is going to be felt in a big way, as Gunn said. He said, and Man of Tomorrow will not be the same as Superman. And it is Lex's story too. So it's the two of them that colors it in a totally different way. And he did say that all the projects in the DCU were intentionally going to be very different feeling, as opposed to like how the Snyderverse, everything very much had the exact same tone and felt very much similar. And so like with all three of these projects so far, Creature Commandos, Peacemaker, and Superman, yes, they're all three different mediums, animation, TV show, and movie, but they're all very, very different in terms of tone.
Yeah, like comics. Every comic has a different tone. Batman's tone is different from Superman. Right. Flash is different from Wonder Woman, Green Lantern.
Different writers and different artists, and it looks and feels different.
Yeah, even though they're in the same universe, it's just different tonality. Exactly. You know? Gotham City is just hell on earth, and Metropolis is gleaming, shining utopia of prosperity. You know, and every other place like Star City or what is
Center City? City
is like a
Central City.
Yeah, it's more of where the scientists go to create. And it's a transient city. You know what I mean? They come.
I felt like it was like Gotham was New York, Central City was Chicago, and Metropolis was LA. But it's not actually so. But that is kind of how I felt. That
Gotham. You know where Gotham really is.
Gotham is New York, though, for sure.
No, it's New Jersey.
Jersey, right? Yeah. It's Jersey.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Batman in Camden.
Word.
Awesome gangster.
Cherry Hill Batman.
Word.
Oh man, fucking
like yo.
Yeah, but
you seen? I know y'all probably touched on this last show. The Absolute Joker.
Oh nah, we didn't get to.
Yo, the dude's a demon, and then there's people that's doing little. There's this dude he dresses as Batman and does the Instagram skits, and he's like, "You really tell me you made this motherfucker a demon? I'm out. Nope. Call Superman for this. I'm not dealing with this. I'm done. I'm out of Gotham. No problem." You made him I ain't got no powers. Yeah, I'm rich, but I ain't got no powers.
Yeah,
demon. Yo, hilarious.
Absolute. Damn, yes, Absolute. The Absolute universe is crazy. The new Absolute Superman is dope. There's gonna be a Justice League. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Honestly, the Absolute universe and Marvel's Ultimate Universe currently is really, I think, what the big two are doing for us, for our generation, or for fans of just real comics, because the mainline stuff, the mainstream stuff, it's not for us, bro. It's really not. I'm gonna dive into that in a minute here, because there's even a new Wolverine that I think is just says it all.
I think DC, if they really want to be clever and add on to what their slate is, they should go crazy all out for the Absolute universe. Yeah. That's a very interesting universe, man. Like, think what it used to be or seem. It's totally flipped around. Or you talking about, okay, this guy becoming Batman without being rich.
Yes.
And ingenuity.
It's great. Yeah, it's great, bro. It's great. Everything about it is just basically all about just being fed up with the nonsense, bro. It really is. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna definitely talk about that. But before we do, this DCU show Lanterns is coming out early next year, and it's supposed to be the sort of light the way for a raft of DC Universe projects that will arrive next year, and it's billed as a sci-fi detective TV series. Supposed to be similar to True Detective. Which what the fuck does that mean? I don't know. I guess the only thing that all the different seasons of True Detective really have in common is that there's a murder investigation and there's some overarching sense that there's something sort of supernatural or extra terrestrial or something, or just not normal or something, but it ends up not being anything. It ends up just being people. So that's kind of what they all have in common. But so I don't know if that's what they mean. But anyway, but we are going to talk about what we do know here. And it's due to be released early 2026. But I'm really excited for it. I do like True Detective, and I think we're definitely due for some fucking Green Lantern action. We haven't had anything really since Ryan Reynolds fucked it up. But before it launches, you'll want the lowdown on what we know about the HBO Max TV original. And so, like Peacemaker, it's going to be an HBO show. So expect rated R, content. And we sort of rounded up the latest information here that we have, including the release date, prediction, and its cast confirmed, plot synopsis, and all that good stuff. Okay. So we have it doesn't really have a confirmed launch date yet, but during a February 2025 press event, DC Studios James Gunn said that they were confident that it would premiere early in 2026. And as for when, I think, which is only 5-6 months away. As for when I think it will debut on HBO Max, and hopefully in regions, on other platforms, I'll probably watch it on the bootleg, but I'm expecting probably around March. So yeah, not that far away. Obviously I have no insider knowledge, but I bet the next time, the next Game of Thrones prequel, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, will arrive in January alongside The Pitt season 2. The Pitt season 1 was crazy. If you haven't seen The Pitt, that's a crazy show. But if they end in late February or early March, Lanterns should have an unimpeded run at being the big dog on HBO and its streaming sister Max. So with New York Comic Con around the corner, it's possible that an actual release date will be confirmed or revealed at that time. Now, there's no obviously, ordinarily trailers for new HBO shows aren't released until a couple months before they air. So we probably won't see anything until December or January as far as trailers go. But it is always possible that a teaser might be, come out a little earlier, something like that. But yeah, with its launch date, New York Comic Con would be an ideal time to debut any sort of little teaser. But I don't think that's going to happen. It's probably going to be more likely that a trailer would be shown in the Brazil Comic Con in December. That's when trailers have been dropping. I mean, that's what we're probably going to see. And let's see here. Here is who is going to be in this show. That is your Jon Stewart, and that is your Hal Jordan. Aaron Pierre. I don't know Aaron Pierre from anything. He was in that one Netflix movie. I can't think of the name.
Yeah, where he was the soldier.
Yeah.
And he was doing
He's a soldier or a cop or something.
Getting his brother out of jail or something like that.
Some shit. Yeah. That could be it.
Oh, he got something, and then he went crazy after that. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. I can't think of it. But anyway, yeah, he's in it. And
then it was a good show. It was a good show though.
Kyle Chandler. It was decent. And Kyle Chandler is Hal Jordan. So what's it say here? Also, Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner is going to show up. Ulrich Thompson, I think, is going to be Sinestro. And then Kelly McDonald, I don't know who that's going to be. Garrett Dillahunt, I think, is going to be Blackheart or Black. What's his name? Black something. I can't think of it. Yeah. And Purna Jagannathan as yeah, I don't know who she's going to be there. But yeah, it says Philion Guy Gardner. There he is. I think he's going to be Sinestro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a wild actor too.
He is. And let me see if they show the other guy. No, Garrett. Lantern's primarily antagonist suspected to be Sinestro. Yes, there he goes. Former Green Lantern who is relieved of his duties for abusing his power. Sinestro has been a longtime foe of the Green Lantern Corps. In January, Deadline claimed that Ulrich Tompkins has been cast as a supervillain. While Gunn and Co. haven't officially ratified this, the Danish actor has since confirmed on Instagram that he'll play Sinestro. That guy. That's his post. It says, "Bye for now. Hashtag Sinestro. I'll keep one side for later. Hope to see you again." Oh, he shaved off half his mustache because he's getting ready to be Sinestro. You see that? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Half his mustache is off. I didn't notice that. Okay. Kelly McDonald will reportedly play a local sheriff named Carrie. With Purna Jagannathan has been tapped to play Zoe. Garrett Dillahunt involved as a modern-day cowboy William Macon, but Variety has since indicated that this role has gone to Jason Ritter. It is unclear then who Dillahunt will play. I think Dillahunt is that damn, what's his name? It's Black something. Black Mask, not Black Mask.
Not Black Manta.
I'm from Green Lantern. It's a Green Lantern character. Black.
Oh. It's from the Darkest Night. Is it from the Darkest Night?
It could be, yeah.
I
don't know.
Oh, what the fuck? I forget, man.
Yeah, sorry.
Black. Look it up.
Yeah, I saw it somewhere. Here we go. There it is, right there. That guy.
Oh, Atrocitus.
Atrocitus.
No.
Well, that guy, he's Atrocitus in the middle, and this guy over here is
what is that? The Black Lantern?
Black Hand.
Black Hand on the cross.
Black Hand. Yeah, that's his name. Black Hand. Black Hand is a supervillain in the world of Green Lantern. Is an inventive genius that creates a device capable of absorbing the residue of Green Lantern power rings energy. While Black Hand is known across a variety of stories, he's most well known for appearances in the Blackest Night storyline. Yeah. So he'll be him from Blackest Night, and he'll be Atrocitus. That dude's dope. He'll be a dope Atrocitus, and then he'll be a dope Sinestro.
Yeah,
that's a dope lineup.
That Rebel Ridge was the joint.
Oh yes, Rebel Ridge. Yes.
And he was on that horror flick Old, the M. Night Shyamalan joint.
What was it?
It was called Old. Who was stuck in this lagoon area, and they were all turning in old. Like a day was more like 5 years or something like that. That passed. It was crazy. Yeah, it was a good joint. You know, M. Night Shyamalan type shit.
That's dope. Well, Lanterns, the log line is the series follows new recruit John Stewart and Lantern legend Hal Jordan, two intergalactic cops drawn into a dark Earth-based mystery as they investigate a murder in the American heartland. So not a lot to go on then, but it does tell us that it's not going to be them flying around space the whole show. It's mostly going to take place on Earth, somewhere in the Midwest, probably the American heartland, I guess. For one, Lantern's chief executive team comprises of 2 writers, Damon Lindelof, who did Lost and Watchmen, and Chris Mundy, who did Ozark, and Tom King, who is a comic book writer known for doing Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. He did a great Batman run. He's done a bunch of shit. And with the DCU's forthcoming Supergirl film, heavily inspired by his comic as well. Now, the group's collective genre works will be integral to the tone and style of Lanterns as well, apparently. So, described as a space cop version of True Detective, aka one of the best HBO Max shows by Gunn. Lindelof's new weird sci-fi sensibilities, coupled with Mundy's penchant for crime thrillers and King's comic book expertise, I think is going to feel right at home in this production and just make something really cool that we're going to really dig and feel like a comic book, yet just really sci-fi and up to date and detective and supernatural thriller, like, you know.
Why don't they just
now
it's like
elaborating further on that?
Remember,
say it again.
Remember, there was Men in Black, and then there was the police, the something about the dead with what you call it was in it. The same makers of the Men in Black. It was about 2
R.I.P.D. with R.I.P.D. with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, R.I.P.D.
The Deados.
Yeah, it was crazy. But when they say, I guess they don't want to make those comparisons. But when you put that out there, saying, yeah, it's True Detective meets aliens and stuff like that, they're on a planet investigating aliens on the Earth, and
no, it probably ain't gonna have no. Well, I don't know if it's gonna have an alien per se. I don't know. I'm thinking more of like an evil entity of some sort. I guess it could be. It probably will be extraterrestrial, but I'm not thinking necessarily
because there's space
police running around. Yes, no, exactly. Yeah. Well, there's police that cover a whole sector of space and all the planets in that sector, which Earth is a planet in that sector, so they police things on those planets too. They don't just do shit in space.
Oh, okay.
So you know, that's how they're explaining. Obviously, it makes it much more affordable for them to make a nice, good, you know, well done series if they don't have to worry about all that space production.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So we're gonna get a better, you know, better written product, I think, where it's gonna come out better quality. It's gonna be better writing, better acting, better dialogue, and all that, because they don't have the sci-fi space shit to rely on as the draw. So I think that's gonna add to its strength. But yes, elaborating further on the premise, the cinematographer James Howes told the Hollywood Reporter, he said, in many ways, it's a buddy cop structure that is really sophisticated. And alongside True Detective, he named No Country for Old Men and Fargo as notable Americana-like influences on this series. So
Fargo was
No Country for Old Men and Fargo, yes, are 2 of my favorite joints.
Yeah, they're cool type. They're serious, but they have we're serious, but by the way,
yeah.
Character here, he's really off. But we like
brothers.
Yeah.
The Coen brothers, yes, the shit they make is insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, as for who will be the true star of the show, Gunn told CBS Mornings that Jon Stewart is the main character, and Jon Stewart will be the main Lantern Corps' new recruit, and Jordan, one of the intergalactic space cop agency's best, will be tasked in training him, Hal Jordan. And so it's like Hal Jordan training Jon Stewart, you know, one of those. So think Training Day or whatever, you know, where there's like a elder cop, an elder detective role, and then like the young rookie role, and that's what we're talking about. So one of those, which is cool. Those are always decent.
Colors was like that too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Sean Penn and Hodges.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hodges and Peckman.
Yeah.
Or fucking But
Yeah.
yeah, as part of the article, Monday revealed that it won't be a wholly superhero affair. He said it's a series that explores who these guys are when they're on the job and when they're out of uniform as well. And it's so we'll definitely see Jordan and Stewart's civilian lives too, along their superpowered responsibilities. So it won't be very much. Don't think of it as going to be a heavy superhero, heavy sci-fi, or heavy visual effects show. It's going to be more of a show that you could do about an Earth detective. It could definitely just they could not be. I think it's going to be where we know that they are space cops, and maybe there'll be a scene in the beginning where we see them on Oa, or we see some. I'm sure we'll see space in some way at some point, but the bulk of the show is definitely just going to be them on Earth. Initially, that really pissed me off, or really let me down. I was really disappointed by that, because I really want to see a Green Lantern show with fucking Green Lantern doing their Green Lantern shit. In space doing what they do. But the more I thought about it, budget wise, if they did that, just like the Marvel crap we get, and just like those over the top special effects shows, they're not very good. Like, they look great, I guess, if you like that cartoony mixed with Earth Roger Rabbit looking shit. But I personally think, the better shows are the ones that are just written well. The special effects aren't the main draw. So
like Daredevil and Punisher.
right.
Well, everything that they did on Netflix. I mean, I even like the Iron Fist and Luke Cage and all that. Like, and Jessica Jones. I mean,
Yeah, Jessica Jones was not bad at all.
yeah, it was deep, very decent, and down. Really
And
cool.
no superhero shit, really.
Nah, because they were street level heroes, but
And she wasn't even like a costume superhero, even street level. She was just a person that had some psychic ability or whatever, or power or strength.
Yeah.
But like Peacemaker, this Lantern show won't be family friendly. It's not. It's considering the murder mystery at the center of its narrative. It's going to be a thriller. That's a given. Obviously, it's on HBO too. But other mature content will be part of the proceedings too. Nathan Fillion told EU that he said, "I've dropped more F-bombs in that project than I have in, I think, my entire career put together. So expect Lanterns to lean more into the adult-only territory, like Peacemaker, than what passes for a PG-13 TV show. So don't. Yes, that is another thing that made me kind of like, okay, it doesn't have to be in space, because this is definitely not a kids' space show or a superhero show. It's definitely a show for adults. Because, dude, like, why not? Adults are every bit, if not way more, into comics than kids are.
Yeah.
Nowadays, especially.
I would say our generation, because I don't think. I mean, we have older generation. The guys, there's very few of them that still do that. But I think it's our generation, the ones who were experimented on with during the 80s as far as consumerism. I think we're the only ones really holding up the mantle for, the comics and stuff.
Yeah.
Toys and comics at this point.
Basically, yeah. I mean, that's it. And so that's why I really respect and am a big fan of James Gunn, because he's really putting on for us.
Yeah.
That's what people, people that complain, he ruins it with the jokes. Well, honestly, like, what has he really ruined with jokes? Like, everything he's done has been great and been wildly successful. I don't think anything was ruined at all. So, and the way he does comedy is perfect. It's an adult type of comedy. It's not corny. It's not cheesy. It doesn't ruin. It's not Taika Waititi in Thor: Love and Thunder. It's not that bullshit. It's not real. Man, yeah, it's real humor that adults fucking would have. Now, depending on how the series, or rather the first season, ends, there might be scope for Green Lantern's this project to sort of lead into the DCU movies, but it definitely will be connected. It's definitely part of the whole universe. Everything in the DCU is connected. So Peacemaker, Superman, Creature Commandos, Lanterns, anything in the DCU is connected. Even Clayface. It's all going to be in the same universe. Man of Tomorrow, you name it, it's part of the same universe.
Yeah, I can't wait for Clayface.
Hell yeah, bro. I cannot wait. Because again, if you saw Creature Commandos, that's the Clayface that the movie's about. That is so exciting to me that that's the Clayface we're getting in live action. Because I always thought if we did get a live action Clayface, it would always, it would never be the animated version or the comic version, the big monster version. It would just be the guy that his face changes,
Yeah.
From the original, the first iteration. But yeah, Gunn's doing the straight up comic book version from our generation. Batman the animated series. Like that's, I think, the inspiration of why he would do that version, man, because that's, if you're from our generation, bro, Batman the animated series, that shit is part of your fucking life. For like, especially my age, at my age, we were coming home from school watching that shit, bro. Batman the animated series was the after school show. That was definitely, and that was like it, bro. And that made me a big fan of like the whole Rogues Gallery.
We used to watch it on actual on college campus. Like, yo,
right?
Definitely watch that, man.
Yeah. See, that was like my childhood show, and that and X-Men the animated series, bro. Those are my shits. But the streaming service. So I don't know. I think it'll be a good show, though. I think it's going to be inspired very much by the comics, which everything that Gunn has done so far. So I'm just very confident that it's going to be every bit as good as everything has been so far, and everything looks good too. Now, moving on to the next thing here. This I'm super excited about as well. I wish Stu was here for this. Hang on, because he big fan of the character. Let me see if I can get an image up here. Hang on, let me try this. How's my computer? Is it because let me try to stop sharing and see if it. Boom. The only kids that are into comic books are the kids who have, what is it?
Comic book fan parents, like parents who really in some cases,
and sometimes. Yeah. I'm trying to get some picture here up for y'all here. It's giving me a problem. It's being an asshole. You being an asshole. What the fuck? My whole toolbar ain't even working.
Damn.
Yeah, my start bar, nothing works. It just, everything's there, but when I click it, nothing reacts. So weird. Holy shit. Yeah, nothing works. That's crazy. Well, I guess I can't do it then. There. It's tripping, bro.
Maybe you have to take it off the double screen, maybe?
No, I mean, it's not. It's definitely something on my computer's end. Yeah, it does this sometimes. It's real fucked up. I built this fucker. What the fuck, huh? just non-responsive programs and shit. It's weird.
I'm getting into this type of retro reading film.
What's that?
This is an old school 1991 old magazine dedicated to films from the 60s and 70s and stuff like that. The 60s, 70s, that type of stuff. The B movies and stuff like that.
All right.
You know, I love B movies, man. All of a sudden, it's just like I treasure them more than the actual main movies we grew up on. I mean, we know the blockbusters we grew up on, but those B movies, man, they held you over between the blockbuster movies.
Right. Yeah, right.
So I like those movies. And then you get a lot of great actors that come out the B movie type of era. Like you got Keith David.
Mm-hmm.
He came out of the action movies, the B movies and stuff like that to become a prominent actor.
Yeah.
Hollywood Walk of Fame star. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad he got that. I wish he would get an Oscar or something. They need to put him in the role where the whole project is Oscar worthy because he's one of the greatest actors I ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he does. He's just in something I was just watching today. What the fuck was it? Lowdown with Ethan Hawke. That shit's dope.
Yeah,
you seen that show?
No, I've seen previews of it. It looks dope.
Yeah, it's pretty good. All right, here's the thing I was trying to show y'all.
Plastic Man.
They're making a movie. DC Studios reportedly developing Plastic Man with an all-star director. Plastic Man is a cool character, guys. If you didn't know, and I didn't know, because as a kid, all I knew of Plastic Man is I would see him on like, I don't know, Scooby-Doo or whatever, like Hanna-Barbera cartoons or some Super Friends. He was definitely all over Super Friends. And he would pop in and out of 80s content, Saturday morning, whatever. But he was always like a goofy dude, and I just thought he was silly and not serious. He's actually very serious. He was actually a criminal before becoming a superhero.
Yeah.
And he's got a very, very dark side, and I can definitely see Gunn really going like off the deep end in the best way with a Plastic Man movie. And so this new report shedding light on this rumor has been swirling around the DC universe for over a year. We mentioned it a little while ago, but as DC Studios CEO James Gunn prepares for his movie Man of Tomorrow and Peacemaker winding down, this movie focusing on a more humorous member of the Justice League is actually seriously being discussed. Now, Gunn back in February 2024 replaying different tweets and stuff that he was replying to and stuff, rumors that stated there was an upcoming casting call for Ruth Yi in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Also said that that 3 more movies were in development, and so one of those was a Plastic Man film to be directed by Darren Aronofsky. Now, if you don't know who Darren Aronofsky is, go watch a fucking movie. You need to up your cinema game. He did Requiem for a Dream. He did The Whale. He just does a lot. He's an Oscar nominated director. Does a lot of really artistic, but really deep and really cool, like crazy. I know you've seen Requiem for a Dream, right?
Yeah, I believe if I Requiem,
you would know.
Yeah,
dude, that Jared Leto was in it.
I probably seen it, but it was just like
Damon Wayans is in it.
Yeah, it's just like Dead Poet Society to me. I've seen it, but I can't recollect.
Oh, you don't remember it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, look it up. It's good. But anyway, seeing a Plastic Man movie by this dude would be nuts. Like, you have to check out his movies, especially Requiem. But at that time, he was saying that there were movies in the works based on Teen Titans and Sergeant Rock as well as Plastic Man. So all very cool. But Gunn wrote on social media, he said, at least one of those things is not true. Have fun guessing. And then Threads on the platform there, he said, and it's been close to 2 years since that post. Since then, Eve Ridley has been cast as Ruthie in Supergirl. So DC Studios also confirmed that both Teen Titans and Sergeant Rock feature film are in development. So now the scooper, My Time to Shine Hello, is reporting via Comic Book Movie that Plastic Man movie is now officially being developed at DC Studios. However, details still remain scarce as to the plot or the casting of anybody in the movie, and whether Gunn is going to have Darren Aronofsky direct. And there are two iconic actors that would love to play the role, because the film, if it does happen, is expected to be more of a lower budget endeavor, like sort of like Clayface and and the long delayed Sergeant Rock project. But Plastic Man is known as one of the more consistent sources of comedic relief in DC's comic books. And so the character didn't really make his debut in DC, though. He first appeared in Quality Comics, owned Police Comics #1 in 1941. And Plastic Man, created by Jack Cole, was not acquired by DC until 1956. At that time, the character folded into the universe, and Plastic Man is known for his superhero ability to stretch and contort his body into limitless shapes and sizes, much like Mr. Fantastic in some cases. So the character originally was a petty criminal named Patrick Eel O'Brien, went by Eel, and after a chemical accident was transformed into the being known as Plastic Man. And the character was the star of his own animated TV series from 1979 to 1981. And the Plastic Man, if the movie does end up in theaters, will be the first time that the character has ever appeared in live action in any on-screen film or anything. And so a few actors have reportedly been noted as saying that they would love to be or take on the role as Plastic Man. One is Rainn Wilson, who was from The Office, 6 Feet Under. He's been in a bunch of shit. If you know who it is, Rainn Wilson.
Yeah.
And then Ben Schwartz, guy, was in Sonic the Hedgehog. Schwartz previously addressed that he would, how he would interpret Plastic Man, saying that he would be comedic. He has like a big thief backstory, Patrick O'Brien. He said, I'm obsessed with that character, and he's funny. And then he said, and I think having a funny character in the Justice League, because technically he is part of the Justice League, I think that would be perfect. A perfect foil to all the other serious characters that they have over there.
Yeah, Rainn Wilson.
I don't see it.
He's 60 years old, man.
Is he really already?
Yeah, he's 60. January 20th. He'll be 60. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Way older than I thought. He must have been older than 6 Feet Under. He must have been like 40.
Mm-hmm.
So,
being Plastic Man, nah.
I don't think that's Plastic Man. Anyways, Plastic Man should have a more chiseled jaw, like more of a handsome kind of guy. That's how Plastic Man looks.
Yeah.
Rainn Wilson got a baby face.
Or they may change his not saying he'll be black, he'll probably be something else.
Yeah.
Indian, or maybe
yeah, maybe. He could be Asian, Indian, Latino.
Yeah.
But
you can change form anyway, so you can be whatever.
Right. And yeah, I mean, it's not for everybody. I mean, like EGC was like, it's like, okay. But some people think it's really cool. I think it's cool because I, again, as a kid growing up, always saw Plastic Man and stuff, and learning later that he was like this anti-hero, really, this criminal, became a good guy. That was really appealing to me. So, and then there's
I want to see him turn into a car.
Word.
If they do it, because he did
he did that, yeah.
he had the buggy. Then he turned into his
Yeah, in the cartoon he did.
That'd be crazy.
He turned into the buggy, and then everybody would hop in his ass and they'd ride around.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
He was watching some crazy shit.
Word. Well, yes, and Gunn confirmed that Catwoman will be in that the DCU has major plans for Catwoman in some way. There's a tweet. The guy tweeted. He said, "Hi James. I know this is off topic, but I'm always missing your Q&As. I really loved what you did with Harley Quinn, the Suicide Squad. I love seeing Gotham's women on screen, specifically Harley, and I hope to see her eventually. That said, I'm interested in the DCU's take on Selena Kyle. Do you have any plans or interest in bringing Catwoman to the DCU?" Gunn said, "Oh, for sure." Now,
yeah, this if he's gonna have the Huntress in there, you gotta have her mother and her father.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, so, that's
Selena Kyle and Bruce Wayne. Yeah.
Yeah, it's and his response, "Oh, for sure," didn't really specify what she's going to be a part of, if it's going to be the Brave or the Bold, or if she's going to be in some other thing. Currently, she's played by Zoe Kravitz in Matt Reeves' The Batman, which is again not related in any way to James Gunn's Batman. James Gunn's Catwoman confirmation probably means that one of the key aspects to remember about the DCU timeline is that many heroes and villains are already established and active in the universe. There's no origins and shit, so it makes it natural for someone like Selena Kyle to be showing up sooner rather than later, just as she's part of this shared universe, and part of this DCU, because in Gunn's mind and in the DCU, it's just like in the comics where all the characters exist. They they might be mentioned, they might even pop in and have a scene, they might or whatever, but they're all there. And we're not going to see one movie, and this is something new, guys. Like, people, like, audiences are really going to not get this, or even if they don't notice it, but like, no origin movies, like no movie's going to come out and it's like, now we're going to have to watch like how Batman became Batman before we get anything. No, when we see Batman in the movie, he's gonna had been Batman for years.
Yeah.
And everyone knows he exists. He's a well-known guy, just like Superman was already a well-known superhero when we saw the movie Superman. So think that way when you see the DCU stuff. So yes, Catwoman, of course, she's gonna be somewhere in there. So but it's a cool little confirmation that we got there, little bit there. Now, speaking of Batman though, and the Brave and the Bold, some weird shit that he did say that kind of has me like, I don't think it's the worst thing. I don't think it's the worst thing, but it does kind of bother me. Okay, so let me tell you what he said. So it's a recent interview. We all know that Brave and the Bold is what we know about it is super limited because it's still in development process. And so but fans like us were hyped to see Robin in the new shared universe and see that Damian Wayne was going to finally get to be in something, because that's my favorite Robin. He's the dopest warrior. He's just cool, and he's Ra's al Ghul's, however you want to say it, grandson. Yeah. His mom is his daughter, Talia al Ghul, who we've seen already in live action. But yes, so now that's what we know. We know that Damian Wayne is Batman's son with Talia al Ghul. We know that that Brave and the Bold was supposed to be about Batman and his son Damian Wayne. So, right? That's what we know. That's what we think we know. Now, in a recent interview, Gunn shed some doubt on this. He said they were basically about if Batman and Robin's, how their relationship would be. That was the question. And so Gunn said, whether or not the movie would still be focused on their relationship. And Gunn said, no, I think you have to wait to see the movie. She said, some things have changed. Plenty of things are in flux on what his situation is with his parentage and all that stuff. So I wouldn't take any of it.
Because I know that in the cartoon they were saying he was a clone of Batman, right? They cloned him. I forget in one series, because I have the DVD in the animated series. He said he was a clone.
Oh, really?
Of Batman, yeah. That's why he's so smart and intelligent. And whenever he's engaged,
he's just his son, as far as I knew. He was his son with Talia al Ghul.
But there was a point where he was a clone in one of the stories I have, and that's why him and Batman always clash, because he's like, "How are you telling me I'm you? You're me. What? Why are you going to treat me like a child when I'm already you?"
Oh, I ain't never seen that. That.
Yeah, it was
normally he's his son with Talia al Ghul. And I thought the whole point of Batman Brave and the Bold was the story about Bruce Wayne and his son Damian struggle together with their relationship while working together as Batman and Robin, because Gunn was always saying it was about the Grant Morrison Batman and Robin, right? Brave and the Bold, the comic. And so, but Gunn's comment about parentage, making it sound like that storyline might not be happening after all. And while Gunn is careful not to reveal too much, the comment about the parentage does, kind of make me curious. And so in that same chat, he was asked to clarify if that meant Damian Wayne was no longer involved in the forthcoming DC flick. And he said, I think you have to wait to see exactly what's happening. So he's not even answering if Damian Wayne's even in it. But he's not saying he's not, but I don't know. It wasn't exactly a hopeful interview or information. So, and Gunn has a penchant for shutting down rumors about his DC movies. So the fact that he didn't give a definitive answer about Robin does give some hope that he's not shooting it down, because he will shoot it down if it's not. And so Damian Wayne has never been adapted into live action yet. So I'm sure that comic book fans, would love to see this character. I know I would. And, as well as, the Brave and the Bold and that whole thing, and seeing like, OG Batman and stuff like that. So we'll have to see. But a big reason why I'm hoping that we get to see Robin in the DCU is because the larger Bat family never really got to appear in the DC extended universe during its run in theaters or any live action. So a dead Robin suit was shown in Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice, but we never got the full backstory of how the Joker killed him or any of that. And additionally, the Batgirl movie got scrapped after being filmed and basically completed, and there's no indication if that's ever going to get seen. According to Stu Dog, we will see it eventually. But
yeah, I think they're going to sell out when they do decide to release it and sell it online. Maybe they can sell it directly online as a download and make millions that way.
Yeah, if they're smart.
Yeah. Why not? You already filmed it. You already made it. Now you can capitalize off it.
I know, it's terrible. Well, speaking of things that are being made, Keanu Reeves has a new draft of Constantine 2 that he's going to take to DC Studios. He said, hopefully they like it too. I don't know what I feel about Keanu Reeves' Constantine. It's not the comic book version of Constantine, and it's also, but it's, at least it's John Constantine and not Joanne Constantine or whatever they did in what was it, Sandman. But yeah, Constantine, the blonde-haired Constantine from the comics that does what he does is not the same as Keanu Reeves' black-haired Constantine. There's a little bit of difference there and everything about them. And so, but if you're into the Constantine that Keanu Reeves made, which that was a dope movie, I didn't even know it had anything to do with DC when I saw it. I didn't know about that shit because, again, I'm a Marvel guy. I really was not privy to much going on at DC. So when Constantine came out back then, I didn't know who that was until I saw the movie and I looked into it. I didn't know right away, and it doesn't seem like a comic book movie, but if you knew, obviously you'd see all the parallels, but a lot of people complained about a lot of the things that were so different. But John Constantine, one of the things that obviously is the same is that he is an occult detective, an exorcist who appears to in both the comics and in this movie. So, but off the back of the success of The Matrix, Keanu played Constantine in 2005. Which did become a big hit, a cult hit, really. But over this whole 20 years since, a lot of fans have been calling for a sequel, and even Keanu said that he wanted to make it happen while promoting this movie, Good Fortune. That he did. He said that the new draft for Constantine 2 had come in, and he planned to take it to DC Studios. He said, hopefully they like it too. Yeah, fingers crossed. And draft of the script came in. We're waiting. We're going to take it to the studio. And so that's sort of like that's a short and sweet tease for this on and on again, off again Constantine 2 news. So we'll keep you posted, but it's been a lot of back and forth and a lot of going on with Constantine, and Keanu said, I think what's his name, Peter Stormare, who played Lucifer, first movie, that guy,
Fox,
he said I think Keanu is not happy with the scripts. That's why he thinks why Constantine 2 hasn't happened. He said because the first one wasn't that successful in the beginning, it became a sleeper and became a cult movie, and now it's one of the biggest cult movies ever. To do a sequel, the studios want to have cars flying in the air. They want to have people doing flip-flops and fighting action scenes. End quote. That dude, he's a cool dude, the Russian dude. But he added that Reeves wasn't interested in making the next movie an action-heavy project. He said, and I think Keanu says, I've done John Wick. This movie is spiritual, and it's about demons and regular people, and I want to keep it that way. And we talked about that. I want to do God coming down exactly the same way, but in a black suit and looking more or less like Lucifer from the first one. I'm 12 years older, so it's going to be hard to do, completely imitate the first movie. But I think from Keanu, he wants to do a sequel that is very close to the first one. End quote. Keanu said, we've been trying hard to make the film for over a decade, and we just recently put a story together and pitched it to DC Studios. They said, okay, so we're going to try and write a script. But it's worth saying there's no guarantee that this Constantine 2 script he's talking about will end up greenlit or anything like that by James Gunn or whatever, because it's up to James Gunn. If it's going to be it'll be an Elseworld project. Obviously, it will not be a DCU project. Because if Gunn does a Constantine for DCU, it'll be the blonde-haired comic book version of Constantine. It will not be Keanu Reeves' version, whether you like it or not. But still, Reeves did tease that if it does get made, Constantine 2 will be set in the same world as the original film. He said, we're not going off of that. He promised, he said, Constantine's going to be tortured even more. And basically, that's kind of where he left it. But yeah, we'll keep you posted.
Yeah.
Allegedly, now we did get some rumors when we might first see the Avengers Doomsday footage.
Oh yeah, Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be sooner than I thought. it's unconfirmed, right now, but it's a grain of salt kind of rumor, but it would stand to reason that Disney would want to get as many eyes on the Doomsday teaser as possible, and given the wild the popularity of the Avatar franchise, it tracks that the studio would pair that with that now, because Avengers Doomsday, what we know about it is limited, but it hasn't stopped all this hype from building. But there's tons of rumors and theories about what the Russo brothers are going to be doing, but this rumor basically is saying that the first teaser will accompany the theatrical release of Avatar Fire and Ash. So like when you go to see Avatar, you'll see the Doomsday teaser.
Wow, that's crazy.
And we know
I'll see it on after that.
Because I don't go to see Avatar movies. I don't really fuck with Avatar that much anymore. The first movie was cool, like the whole concept of it. Yeah, I really love the concept and everything.
Then they had to use it as a cash cow. We need more money.
Yeah, right. After that, I just wasn't interested. Like, I'm not interested in the whole, because they just want to capitalize, like you said, on and make a cash cow. They just want to capitalize on the special effects and all that. Mm-hmm. It's not about the heart of what that movie really was talking about. Like, that's the deep shit that I'm into. Like, but leave it at that. But yeah. The hype around Avengers is obviously super high, as always, and so it will be some big movie that they're gonna release it with. But yeah, it's Avatar is coming out December 19th of this year, so that's probably when we'll see this teaser. That's my prediction anyway.
Makes sense to do something around then.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. So speaking of Doomsday, apparently Captain America is going to be not Steve Rogers, but let me see. So they asked if Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier, is who suits up as Captain America, and Anthony Mackie confirmed it. So apparently Captain America is going to be Bucky.
As
Sebastian Stan.
As he should.
As he should.
Yeah.
As he should have been. Yeah. And it's a huge cast. Doomsday, of course, we got Thor, Invisible Woman, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Black Panther, Ant-Man, U.S. Agent, Namor, The Thing, Shang-Chi, Yelena Belova, Beast, Sentry, Falcon, Human Torch, Red Guardian, M'Baku, Ghost, Loki, Professor X, Magneto, Nightcrawler, Mystique, Cyclops, Gambit, Mr. Fantastic, and Doctor Doom. That's who we know about. I think there's going to be more, way more, but we'll see. And Marvel renewing Daredevil, Born Again. So another rated R show that's getting greenlit.
Cool.
Not for kids, kind of thing. But it is going to be, I think, Netflix. So, or Disney Plus. So, who knows how that's going to go. Yeah. But that's cool. Yeah, because that's cool. That's happening. All right. So that's pretty much it for movies and that kind of stuff. And we got a great next thing. Hold on. What's going on? Honka. What do you say? Do you think Andy Muschietti is still directing Brave and the Bold? It's yet to be determined. It's not solidified. That's the rumor. But yeah, he said they have to let people know the Brave and the Bold and Reeves versus separate. Having Robin and Brave and the Bold would separate them. Yeah, that's one thing that would separate them. I would like to see the gray and blue suit too as well. Not a British Constantine, but I feel like I still like the movie. Yep, I like that. Avatar movies are boring for me. Yep, me too. Raw, my dude. What up, Dar 3? Dare 3,
Daredevil. Daredevil. Yeah, he knows all about Motu, man. He's heavy in it. Heavy player.
Yeah. Oh, that's the Motu collector guy that we
yeah,
yeah.
Motu King is what we call him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's official tissue. Yeah,
well, speaking of Motu, we're gonna get into let's talk about some toys, man. Some Hasbro, some classifieds, some Marvel Legends, and all that good stuff. We got some in-hand pictures, and I got some details and some news this week, shaping up to be a rather big week, another big week for Marvel Legend pre-orders. Things will kick off this Tuesday at 1 p.m. when we will see the Marvel Legends Secret Wars Iceman figure go up for pre-order. Very excited about that. I don't have the Iceman figure, and so
how many Iceman figures they're gonna make?
I don't have any. I have none.
Oh,
and
for real?
yeah, I don't have any. And honestly, out of all the ones they have made, there's only like one that really looks like the Iceman that I really fuck with, which is like the one from like back in the day, like the one you would see on like Spider-Man and Friends, like just the solid white, like they always have some weird version of him or something that Marvel Legends always makes.
They came out with that cell shaded one. I didn't like that.
Yeah. I just want a good solid OG Iceman, and that's what this is. Yeah. Secret Wars. Like it's from back in the day. It's the original Secret Wars Iceman. But it's another Secret Wars figure from the Secret Wars line. So the Secret Wars line is super cool to me because again, Secret Wars was the very first Marvel toy I ever had when I was like 3 years old. But also with that coming out Tuesday at 1 p.m. on Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, Amazon, all that stuff. We've got retro Spider-Man card back Mysterio. Walmart Collector Con event is going to be Thursday. That's one thing. So October 9th at 10 a.m. Collector Con. Basically, if you want to pre-order anything, you basically have to pay for it right then. So everything at Collector Con you got to pay for then, which I think is a terrible way to do pre-orders. Because it really limits what you can pre-order, honestly. Because when you pre-order, if they put a bunch of stuff up for pre-order, you can pre-order it all right then. You don't have to pay it till it comes out. And since none of that stuff ever comes out at the same time, you're not gonna have to just pay for everything all at once. And so it's better when they make you have to pay up front, then you end up having to pay for everything all at once, which usually is fine when they don't do a lot of stuff, because usually the exclusives, Walmart exclusives, are like one or two things at a time. Now they do this Collector Con where they're putting up a bunch of stuff. So get your wallets ready to be destroyed. But because there's a lot of good stuff that we don't have, a lot of people need. Now, Mysterio is one that they've done a bunch of times, but this one is the retro cardback cartoon version that's coming. Also, you're going to have a very now this is what I'm actually excited about. On Friday, October 10th at 1 p.m. on the regular Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, probably Hasbro Pulse, we should see revealed Thursday at around 11 a.m. on the New York Comic Con panel. And then we'll see it the next day coming up for pre-order at 1 p.m. You're going to get the comic version of Iron Man Mark 72 armor. You're going to get Phantom Rider. That's the all-white Ghost Rider with the kind of cowboy hat and the cape. The old first Ghost Rider. Dark Avengers Spider-Man. Werewolf by Night. Enchantress. Crystar Warbow, the green Crystar guy, I can't wait for. And World War II era Logan. I am super hyped about. Now, We have not seen what they're going to look like yet, obviously, because they haven't really technically been revealed per se. So that'll get revealed hopefully at the Comic-Con. This is what we know or can see so far. Hang on. Dang it. Work with me. There we go. Here we see. All right. There's Iron Man or Iceman. Sorry. There's Iceman, Secret Wars Iceman. Again, he's like,
oh, okay. He's like translucent. Okay.
Yeah. And he's got like those two blasts that you see, there's these two things right here. Those will go on his wrists like he's shooting it at the ground. And then this thing right here is like the little ice thing that he skates on. So he's like this, he's shooting the ground, creating the thing that he slides on, and that comes with it. And like I guess a little snowball. So but that's cool. Secret Wars, awesome line. This one's coming out by itself, not part of a wave, which is weird. Secret Wars has been coming in waves, so I was really expecting a wave here. I thought he was going to be a teaser to the wave, but I don't see anything else being announced. So it looks like so far, and by the back of the package here, it's just a one-off release. It's really weird. And then there's some shots. And there's your Mysterio card back. He's got some cool effects coming with him. I would love to get this one just because I don't actually have a Mysterio. He's one of the only Spider-Man villains I don't have. And he'd go really well with the ones I have with the sort of bright colors and stuff because like those are kind of ones I got. And it's a nice iteration. It comes with a head that's like a skull, clear pink skull with like a pink clear snake going through the eye and stuff. This is pretty cool. This is pretty intense. There's a little better. You see, kind of. There's a skull with like a tentacle. Actually, it's more like an octopus. Yeah. It's like Cthulhu coming through his eye. And
kind of similar to what they did with the what's my man's name? For G.I. Joe, fucking Crystal Ball.
Yeah, Crystal Ball, right?
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Suggestion. You got the tentacle thing.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Cthulhu.
Yeah, the Cthulhu.
There he is with his bubble off. There he is with the Cthulhu head on. Yeah, that's pretty wicked, man. I regret that I'll probably miss out on this guy because I'm not going to be able to just pay for all this shit at once. Now, this is an amazing fucking wave. I'm not quite sure why they're doing this Iron Man again because they literally just released this Iron Man with the mini comic wave. So I'm not sure that this is exactly the one we're going to get, but that's what it's looking like. But there you go. There's Enchantress. There's a Spirit Rider. And the green crystal guy, he's from most of you probably have no idea what this green dude is. His name is Warbow. He's from the Crystar, the Crystal Warrior line. And then here's a Logan, World War II Logan that is something that we don't have one of yet and is much needed for the Wolverine collection. Obviously, Werewolf by Night. It's going to look just like Wolfman. And there is the Dark Avengers Spider-Man. So very cool black suit with 6 arms. This is something we do not have. He'll be great for the Spider-Man shelf, something different. I'll be passing on Enchantress, and I'll be passing on this Iron Man if that's what he looks like, because I already have him. The Enchantress, just don't care about it. It's not, meh. I'll probably grab the other 4 or the other 5 here. Definitely getting Wolverine and Warbow for sure. Definitely getting the Spider-Man for sure. The Ghost Rider is a big maybe, and the Wolfman's a good maybe. Yeah. with that, what else we got? Okay, these just hit. These are our in hand look at and I can't wait to get this one. That is the homie right there. That's Keaton, Batman. You can't go wrong. The best ever. I don't care what you say. Batman Returns version. So he's got the one with the more tech looking abs versus where in 89, the first Batman, it was a more natural human looking muscular ab body armor, whereas in Returns it was more tech. It didn't look as realistic. And then you got what a cool background or back of the box. There you go, the classic. That was a big one for me. Look at that face sculpt. Look at Keaton. That's Keaton right there. That works.
Yeah,
that works. Yeah, he's got the bat. He's got the grappling gun from the movie. Everything is from the movie. This one though, I definitely had to get out of all of them. It's the one I wanted the most because they don't really make a lot of good Catwoman, in my opinion. I don't like so far. He hasn't done like a lot of the good ones, but this is really a great looking Catwoman. But one of my favorite Catwomen. Only Catwoman that really had a lot of personality. Her, and then I like Eartha Kitt from the TV show.
Oh yeah, definitely Eartha Kitt.
She got the taser, where she tased Max Shrek, and then Penguin. So, of course, I had to get Penguin. And I famously do not ever collect or buy movie figures, MCU figures, or anything like that. I don't like them. I like comic book and like the only movie figures I ever get are Star Wars, Black Series, but like don't get any other movie figures. I'm making an exception. I'm making an exception with these because it's fucking Batman Returns, bro. Batman, bro. But I swear to God, like I think about it now, Batman, these movies really like sparked my whole interest in comicdom. I was 9 and 10 years old when these came out. So that's what really lit the fire for me with, comics and stuff, really. I mean, I always had it around me, always, stuff, but really to get into it and like want to really read comics and stuff. Yeah, bro. These movies are important to me.
There it is.
That's a great sculpt. That's a great representation. It's got the top hat. It's got the cloth wool coat. Unfortunately, I was not able to get Max Shrek. Yeah, he was like a GameStop exclusive, and they sold out right away. I really like the pinstripe suit. I think it's dope. He's a good-looking character. He looks just like Christopher Walken, and then he comes with this, which is a fried version where he got the Catwoman hit him with the electrical joint. Yo, what up, Daredevil?
Yeah.
And then let's see.
What's up, y'all?
What up, bro?
What's going down? It's just hats. Oh, there you go. What's going on?
Didn't have no audio there for a second, man. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I was like, no bueno.
Now this is coming out, and this is dope. Like if you don't have it, like me, if you're like me and you don't have a Bane, and then this is getting ready to drop. You're only gonna get it if you can. Hold on, get out of here. There it is. He's a glow-in-the-dark Bane, so his looks like his belt, his arm thing, all the white stuff there is mask and the glow and the green tube of venom and his laces. I think looks like glows, all glows in the dark.
Hold on for a second.
Comes in the glow in the dark case. 6,200 pieces. So they only made 6,200 of this. It's a special edition. And it's only going to be $50. It's at Walmart Collecticon, 10 a.m., 10 at 10. So October 10th at 10 a.m. $50. You got to pay up front if you're pre-ordering at Walmart, which again is never usually a problem except when they do these damn cons and you have to pay for everything all at once. That sucks. And what else do we see? We have in hand. We want to see some in hand. Reviews. Oh, here we go. Magic the Gathering and Marvel Legends together. Mm-hmm. I mean, made these joints here. I think it's a stupid thing because I gotta pay like $15 extra or whatever it is for this Magic card that is useless to me. And if I can't sell it for $15 and get that money back, it's extra money I'm paying for a figure. So maybe not the best idea. But this guy I passed on just because
I went to my comic shop today. I seen that in person, and I wasn't. It just
the one I got I think is better than that one, which I believe is the retro carded one. Agent Venom.
Okay.
Yeah. I like that one. I like that one better. I mean, that one's all right. I mean, it ain't the worst, but at the same time, it's definitely not the best.
Yeah. I think he's over designed. He's just not a design that I'm really a big fan of anyway. And
Gunn. I mean, I do dig the collaboration though. I mean, for any of us that grew up in the early '90s, because I mean, I got started in Magic.
Yeah.
And like, what, 3rd edition revised. So I mean, when I saw them, really, honestly, truthfully, this one was the only one I gave a damn about. Out of all the ones.
This figure here.
Yeah. If I had to pick one, you know what I'm saying? If I was putting myself in that frame of mind, I would be like automatic. He'd be the only one I would buy out of that whole wave because the rest of them are just doo doo.
The only one I like is this one because
the battle damage.
Yeah, we haven't had a battle damage Spidey really, and so he
he straight up got mugged.
Yeah,
right.
He got fucked up bad. And then there's this guy who I don't really know about. Yeah. I'm not a fan.
Me neither. I'm in the dark on that one.
Yeah. Apparently his lower jaw moves up and down. I mean, he's apparently looks really cool. I mean, I've seen a live review of him. He looks pretty good, but he's just not a character that I care enough about or that is iconic enough for my shelf. I don't have enough room to I'm not one of these guys that's just buying every single Marvel Legend made. I need only buying the ones that are going to look on my shelf, look iconic and recognizable.
Cherry picking.
Yeah, it's got to be recognizable. And then this, like, it's a what do you call a novelty thing? I mean,
the concept of this one is a must-have in a sense.
Yeah, it's like I'd like to have it, but I can't afford to just buy everything that's kind of cool.
I know Mattel took all my money. Oh, that Mondo.
Right. Oh yeah, Mondos are $250 a pop.
Believe it or not, these were obviously not for 1/6 scale, but they were 1/12 scale, and man, it was so the same price I paid for the Snake Lair crowdfund, I paid for 2 figures. So it was like $337 out the door. That's after taxes and. Of course, I didn't get no tariff charges, with Mattel. Only one it's almost like people have been sleeping on it, tell you the truth, man, because a lot of people don't really pay attention like they should. But, Mondo has had that listed on their website, for some time now, and people are just now acting like they just found out about it. I'm just like, dude, y'all I don't know what y'all doing, man. But I mean, it is what it is. They put out great quality figures, man.
I've been looking at their X-Men stuff is cool. And then the Motu stuff they did is really cool. I wanted to get that Mondo, Skeletor, and Panther. And then and they did a dope Aquaman. The Beast Man is insane.
Yep.
They really look good. The X-Men stuff is more, and the comic stuff, it's very comic-y. It's very cartoony, not a lot of details and stuff. But like the He-Man stuff, there's fur and all kinds of different materials and shit. Really cool looking.
I mean, I do dig their X-Men line.
They're really
based off the animated series.
Yeah. They look just like the cartoons and everything, and they have like the cell shading and stuff sort of vibe to it. Yeah, they look.
They really just did a Daredevil, and I was actually believe it or not the Daredevil that they showed in X-Men '97 when he did a cameo.
Yeah, so I didn't like Daredevil. I didn't really love it. It was a little too. I don't know. It's hard to put my finger on. It's just too plain. I don't know. It's hard.
Last Daredevil thing I actually liked was when Ben Affleck was in Daredevil.
Wow.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. That's me. Wow. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I
like the Daredevil stuff. The new one's great. I love the Netflix show. I think that's awesome.
I had never, believe it or not, I'd never sit down and watch any episode of it ever. I don't know why, but I just felt just weird. But like I said, I'm really have always been an X-Men. It's always been X-Men, and then it gravitated in towards the Venom, and it's really been Venom here for a hot minute. So I don't really been collecting.
Well, this guy looks awesome, though. I love this shit.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
This guy looks cool. He's based on the comic.
I honestly, I'm gonna say it, bro.
What's up?
Honestly, with this figure, I think it looks like shit, man.
Really? Yeah.
I'm not a fan of cell shading.
I love cell shading.
I love cell shading. I'm not a fan of it because it's like.
I think that looks great.
If I wanted to look like a comic book, I'd go into the comic book and read.
Right.
On the shelf, it looks odd to me. Like it's like, nah, I don't like. It's like, just like with what was it that movie with Keanu Reeves? I thought Scanner Darkly that threw me. That's what it reminds me of, a Scanner Darkly figure, and that threw me off. My vision is like fucked up when I look at it.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah. See.
It's that highlighting their. I mean, the crap they were doing in the '90s, bro. I mean, that's they were. When you see them draw McFarlane or anybody,
because it's a cool representation of it for me. I love it.
Because when I was drawing, I was doing the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, but I like to see it on paper, not on. And
right.
I would like to see more of the color rather than.
I like them. They don't. I don't own any. Like, I don't mind them.
I wouldn't have it as like the status quo of the figures, but as like a novelty. That's what I see the cell shaded figures as.
It's very much a nostalgia novelty piece.
No, well, not nostalgia, more of novelty. Like it's showing. See this comic? Like it's supposed to look just like that comic.
So with
novelty of that comic. Yeah,
something right. You don't see all the time. Okay.
Just an oddity. Yeah, like doesn't this funny? This figure looks just like the comic. It's an oddity. But no, I don't like it as a constant medium. Like figures should have shell shading on them. No, hell no. Nah, I agree. But I love how the cell shading does look on it. As far as cell shading figures go, I think it's well done because like you don't just have. It's not just one color green and then some black lines. I see like 2 or 3 tones of green in this.
Yeah, I see the tones,
which is cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But for $29, it's not a bad looking figure, and this is McFarlane's newer, better constructed figures that seem more like action figures, less like statues than his previous stuff has. What else we got? Live action in hand. I mean, I got some in hand images of the G.I. Joe Classified. It's the one. This is the one that goes with Crystal Ball.
Ghost.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of like made up figures personally, but if you like the made up stuff, it's really cool for that. As far as those go, they took a Viper, I guess they made the Viper with like a more supernatural vibe to it. You can see there he's got like a skull in his mask, like that kind of glows. He's got a cobra head and a wolf head that you can put on, that's either that they glow, and then like hands that you can swap out that make the hands glow, not glow, but they're like a clear green. And then you got the wolf and then the cobra. That is the wolf that they gave with Snake Eyes, and that's the cobra that you got with Serpentor. And they just made them like with a translucent clear green. And the idea apparently is that Crystal Ball and his troops here use these illusions to make their enemies think that this is what they are. Like, they're not really saying that these guys have these heads. They're saying like this is what the enemy sees.
Right, yeah.
You know, and like that's the mask that they actually have on right there.
That one looked all right to me when I first saw it, when they first announced it, even though I don't collect G.I. Joe. And then the one with, I don't recall the name, but it's the one with the scorpion, the desert scorpion.
Oh yeah, Desert Scorpion. That's his name. Desert Scorpion.
Yeah. Matter of fact, my local comic shop, they just got him in yesterday.
Yeah, we just showed him off on the show earlier today.
Nice.
Stu Dog has him.
Nice. Yeah, you know, when with that Viper they got with the skull, they got that from Black Major. There's a company called Black Major that does their renditions of the G.I. Joe O-ring figures. So they have the molds to a lot of these O-ring characters, and they do them in different type of styles. Like y'all have a Superman bat, Batman bat. You'll have pumpkin skulls. You have all types of things on the Viper and stuff. So I think they took that idea and ran with it.
And I'm noticing they use the retro cardback Viper body versus the other Viper. So this is the retro cardback Viper body repaint. But yeah, I mean, if you don't mind repaints and you don't mind made up characters, this is a really cool figure. I think overall, I like that wolf head's fucking wicked with the big fangs, like the bottom fangs that look really cool. That skull Viper mask helmet visor helmet thing looks pretty cool. There you go, that thing right there with the skull on it.
Yeah, that's the Black Major.
That Ghost in Call of Duty.
Hold on, I'm going to find out a Black Major figure that
Oh, okay. Yeah. And but for me, I only like the figures that look like, you know, the 80s, the real characters, because again, like my whole thing, like I like collecting stuff that looks like, you know, iconic, like shit that I grew up with or whatever. But you know, G.I. Joe Classified, they have a lot of made up characters that they you know, reuse parts and stuff like that and make up characters, and that's cool. And like there's a lot of really cool looking characters, and those are great for like guys that, like for Raw Talk, he's been collecting G.I. Joe for many years. He's got all the O-ring stuff, and so for guys that have been collecting G.I. Joe for years and want something new, this is that they have that for you. For guys like me who have not been collecting toys throughout their life, they just kind of started recently. I started in the past like 7 years. I think I started like 2018 is really when I started collecting stuff, and not really heavily until, you know, obviously after COVID, but after I stopped selling comics, which is a little after, so probably like 2022, 23 maybe 2022. Yeah, so I kind of got into it more. But anyway, point is, I just like collecting stuff that I had as a kid. So for me, I don't want anything new and made up. But if you do like something new or you want something new, there you go. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, especially when it's something that's unproduced. Like it may have showed up even back in its said vintage era. You know, it might have been showed on in a magazine, kind of similar, some stuff that Mattel never did, never got around to, but ended up being something big later on down the road. You know, those times are when it's really valuable. When it, you know, the stuff like that's a must-have.
So
definitely.
This is an example. I thought I had that, but it was my bro that had the one with the skull viper. But this will give you an example of what Black Major does and how they took it from. So this is a version of the Steel Brigade figure, right? But they made it hold on, let me see. Translucent head, and then
with the skull I can see. Yeah.
Hold on, let me turn that off if you could.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. It looks just like that.
But they also did it for the Vipers and a few other characters where they had the skulls, and they sold well. I mean,
that's where Lenny got
I guess they say I figure if Black Major's knocking off our O-rings, we're gonna knock off Black Major. Custom colors and stuff.
Yeah. Well, this is Man-Bat for Batman the Animated Series.
That Man-Bat is serious.
Yeah.
I think I might have to get this like even though I really don't collect any animated series stuff, which that's not by design, just because I just didn't get to. But and also animated series figures are 6-inch versus 7-inch. Yeah. All the DC stuff, all the DC multiverse stuff that McFarlane does for some reason is 7-inch, which sucks because everything else is 6-inch and it doesn't really line up. But I really love the animated series stuff because A, because it's 6-inch, B, it's Batman the Animated Series, which I grew up on. Yeah. This guy is going to be like 10 inches tall, so he can probably, he'll look all right on my shelf. But yeah, Man-Bat looks pretty good.
I want to see the Batman movie for real.
Well, if you interested in the animated stuff for Batman specifically, if you check your local Ross, the Batwing's been popping up at your local Ross.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Ross.
That box is huge. I caught it, ran across my Instagram. I saw it earlier this morning. I was just like, wow, that's crazy.
What, like a DC Multiverse Batwing?
No, it's based off the animated series.
The
Batwing.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. I was like, at Ross? I was like, yeah. I mean, I've got cartoon collection Motu at Ross. I was just like, man, is anything possible? Masterverse is showing up there. I mean, Black Series. I mean, you name it, it's been there. I mean, you just don't hit all the time. It's just totally random. You know what I mean? But it's worth a check. And I don't, go there all the time. But obviously, shout out to Rashad Starks, yeah, and Virgo Cool, yeah, they go there all the time. So we got a few of them around us.
Well, on the comic tip, check this shit out. X-Men just crowned its new Wolverine. Well, guess who it is? You'll never guess. Yeah, this
is based off the. Oh Lord.
The what?
The Blob.
His name is Glob. Glob. Gotcha. That's him right there. He's like a skeleton inside like a pink. There's like a pink jelly mold, and you can just see his skeleton inside of it. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah,
but this is like new comics. There you go. There's one. But yeah, like this is the current Marvel.
Being done. It's been drawn by Stegman. I do know that. It's a Revelation or whatever. Age of Revelation. I'm not digging it, but I mean, I'm not getting any of it. But the Age of Apocalypse, I got a couple issues.
So how did they make him the new Wolverine? What? I don't understand.
Yeah.
It says Glob Herman is able to become the new Wolverine because the original is now working for the bad guys. Cyclops quickly learns that Revelation has used his hypnotic voice to corrupt Wolverine, turning him into the Angel of Death. Even Zorn sacrificing himself to try and kill Logan with a black hole can't stop him, and it's clear the former hero is now the single biggest threat to the X-Men's continued survival. Glob may have the loner attitude and lethal intent to be the new Wolverine, but his near useless powers don't make him anywhere near indestructible. Hopefully, Glob will make it to the end of Age of Revolution event intact, as while it's impressive to see him take up Wolverine's role on the X-Men, it is not one it's one that no one but Logan can survive for long. Yeah, it's Marvel. It's X-Men Age of Revelation Overture #1.
Yeah,
man, that's Marvel clickbait.
Yeah,
bro,
much,
it's nonsense.
I mean, I like Stegman's art, man, but I already knew I wasn't getting it. I mean, I was,
The only thing really going on right now for me that I fuck with in Marvel comics right now is the Ultimate Universe and in DC the Absolute Universe. Because like all the main titles and stuff are just going to shit.
I mean, it's like, look what they're doing to my Venom. They got Mary Jane as the host, and I mean, it's like Marvel's just making fun of their characters, like,
and then they got Wolverine looking like this. He's got
like he's Strife, like he's got the helmet of Strife almost a little bit.
Oh,
yeah,
Strife's helmet.
Yeah. Cable's clone, basically.
Cable's clone.
Yeah.
Sinister.
Yep.
There he is. He got like an Iron Man suit. Deadpool and Wolverine. It's Deadpool Wolverine #10. Benjamin Percy.
So I'm excited, man. Raw, I get to meet somebody tomorrow I didn't think I'd ever get the opportunity to meet.
Oh, word?
Yeah, so I met some of the other casts, the OG cast, this past year at the Soda City Comic Con, but tomorrow at the Boardwalk Comic Con in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, I'm gonna finally have the opportunity to actually meet George Buza, the voice actor for Beast for the X-Men 90s animated series.
Dope.
Yeah, man. So I'm dope. I'm stoked for that one, man.
I know you got your comic ready for that autograph, though.
Yeah, man. That's I didn't think. Well, originally they'd only announced like a couple people, and it wasn't nobody I was interested in. But I got off work Friday afternoon, man, and I was sitting in my car before I left the parking lot, and I was scrolling through my phone like I do sometimes, and it was like the first thing on Facebook I saw when I popped up on it, and I was like, yeah, man, I got to go. So
I dig it.
I'm gonna take my sister with me, and the guy she's kicking it with now, so I guess he's gonna ride with us too. So
all right. Oh, man, shoot.
Yeah.
And yo,
this is dope. They're dropping the so back in the day apparently Spider-Man had a comic strip in the newspaper in the 70s.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see that.
You never seen this?
I used to get the newspaper for the comic strips.
Yeah, it originally debuted in 1977. It said
I read my Peanuts and Heathcliff and
Spider-Man in the Staten Island newspaper and the Daily News.
It said it evolved. It said collections present the strip strictly by year, each volume covering 1 year from 1977 to 1980. So yeah, I was born in 79, so
me too.
They stopped doing it in 80. Then I was 1 year old. I never got to see them in the paper. But apparently, for those of you like me, you can actually get them now in this soft or hardcover edition.
I have to get that.
It's a Kickstarter. Yeah, I definitely want this. This is crazy. Look at Kingpin.
All those little strips. That's why.
Newspaper.
Raven,
look great. Raven,
and read the Spider-Man joints.
Yeah. Right. Hell yeah, I definitely would have.
Just like that. Yeah, that's how it was in the newspaper. That top line, you see where it got the Mary Jane. That's how it was.
All the villains. Yeah.
Yeah, and then on the other side was the villains, but mainly a lot of the strips they cut out the villains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
the whole thing was so dope.
Who they got on here?
Oh,
they list
snap.
like the million.
Oh, you got that new Panther.
Well, this is the 2000X Mike Young Panther. Yeah, I remember when he first came out, dude. He'd been had him for a while now. I figured I'd go ahead and pick him up.
He
was still sitting there. He had a couple of them actually.
All right. Oh, the Marvel DC crossover.
Yeah, Battle of the Century Superman versus Spider-Man. They're doing another one. Apparently 2026 that'll come. Well, they did Deadpool and Batman. We just talked about that the other day.
Yep.
And then this will follow in 2026. Spider-Man and Superman #1.
This one though, I got the illest one.
1976 joint.
I got the Hulk versus Batman.
Oh, damn. Hell yeah.
My two favorite heroes in the whole world on one book fighting.
Right.
Crazy.
That's dope.
Yeah, man.
That's like
on my wall over there. That's why framed it.
When it dropped, my two favorite MCs, Nas and Ghostface, got this coming out.
Yeah, they're gonna have Nas at Comic-Con on the panel. Yeah, so I'm gonna have my bro see if he can get a comic and get it signed for me.
There you go.
Yeah, I want to get Nas' signature on it, but Rose I'll probably get on the off time. I'll check him out, whatever, and get it.
Yeah, this is new. This is new. Obviously, I was excited for this because it's that and it's Stegman cover.
Okay, sure. That Stegman, that Venom joint, and Noel, right?
Yeah, Noel's return. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got all the covers actually, believe it or not.
Only thing I got signed is a Stan Lee signature on a Daredevil comic.
Mine is on a what was it, Venom issue 6, for when Eddie Brock comes back to Venom, they come back together. And it's signed by Stan Lee. It's actually got his, he used to. How you know is obviously because it comes with a card and it comes with the Excelsior sticker. That's how you obviously know it's an official Stan Lee joint. But he signed a lot of stuff, so everybody knows that. But
yeah, that's his company, Excelsior.
Excelsior.
Yeah,
you gotta have the certificate of authenticity in there.
Yep. I put mine away, and I got that book for a great deal, man. At that time, seemed like I was getting a deal every time I turned around. I took advantage of it, man. That's the time when I was getting Thor God of Thunder issue 2 and 6, and I pretty much stole them things, man. I mean, you ain't gonna get them for that now. And then, not to mention, it was even better. They were newsstands. I was just like, yeah. That's a win-win-win.
DCKO coming out in 5 days. This is gonna be dope as fuck. We
talked about battling Power Girl. What?
Yeah. DCKO. There's a bunch of good shit happening in that. Then you got Hawkman is becoming a villain in Absolute Universe. We got Absolute Evil #1. This is what I'm waiting on right here, bro. Absolute Evil. So Absolute Universe, just like the Ultimate Universe in Marvel, is definitely catered more to those of our generation, or just those who just like, OG comics and really how comics should be. 84 years of friendship and lore turned upside down after founding Justice member murders an A-list hero. Set in the dark side created Absolute Universe, where villains are pure evil and heroes are grittier and more hardcore than ever. This shocking event marks an epic departure from the typical lore. Earlier this week, DC teased that Hawkman had been reimagined as a villain in their preview for Al Ewing and Giuseppe Camaculi's Absolute Evil #1. The iconic hero was shown fraternizing with members of the House of Un-American Activities Committee, making it clear this was not the Hawkman fans know and love. Yeah, there he is.
Green Arrow.
Green Arrow, Absolute. Yeah, Absolute's been killing it. Hawkman kills Green Arrow, solidifying his villain status in the Absolute universe.
Yeah.
Hawkman is a morally black villain who serves as the attack dog for the Absolute Universe's group of villains, going as far to kill the recently debuted Green Arrow.
Look the motherfucking Green Arrow.
Word.
Fuck him up. Caught the harm. God.
Word. Damn.
And he just
hit him with the mallet. He hit him with the mace. Look at the mace. Got blood on it.
Word. Look. He just threw him on the table like, man, fuck this dude.
Word. Wump. He said questions. Absolute Evil #1 brings together the primary antagonists from each Absolute title, including Eleanor Thawne, which is the Absolute Flash, villain Hector Hammond from the Green Lantern, and Veronica Cale from Wonder Woman, Joker from Absolute Batman, and Ra's al Ghul from Absolute Superman. The villains meet to discuss the growing threat of the rising heroes in the world. They rule with an iron fist. Dog, this is the culmination, bro. I'm super excited. Absolute Evil is gonna be nuts.
Yeah, Absolute Joker being a demon, bro. That took me out, man.
Yeah, bro.
I was like, what the hell did they do with this guy now?
It's a catch-22, okay, with the Ultimate Universe and with the Absolute Universe. The thing is, the catch is that none of the characters and shit are really the ones that we know and love. Like, they're not they're not their normal selves.
Yeah.
But the trade-off is that the comic reads and behaves like the comics we know, as opposed to the way that the normal mainline comics out right now are. And if you guys aren't reading I read new comics all the time. I subscribe, like I get new shit, the new shit as they come out. Like I read new comics, and I'm very disappointed all the time with X-Men, which is my go-to favorite. Everything since Krakoa.
Okay.
The Krakoa thing ended. House of X, Powers of X, everything since then has been ass. What else?
Yeah.
Anything, bro. Anything is just not good. But like,
yeah, because that was
bro, crazy good.
That was Jonathan Hickman's.
Yeah,
and all that. Yeah.
I mean, anything by Hickman is phenomenal. I have nothing he's read that I've ever read is trash. Like it's all good, but it's a certain style that I like. Like it's very much like sci-fi. It's like a sci-fi movie. That's how his shit comes out. But let's see. Absolute Hawkman's redesign is a tribute to the Golden Age origin.
Okay. Gladiator type shit.
Given that Hawkman now serves as an enforcer for the Absolute Universe's most morally corrupt, there's no denying that. Blah blah blah. Establishes evil and villainy. Origin in a quiet, clever way. Full warrior garb. Got the mummy look. With any exposed skin wrapped in bandages. This appears to be a reference to his Golden Age origins as archaeologist Carter Hall, the reincarnation of the slain Egyptian Prince Khufu. Okay, so that's the whole mummy aspect. That's what they mean. An epic nod to the character's past amid the dark new path for once heroic Justice League member. That's dope. That's dope. The mummy. That's fire as fuck. That's gas.
Well, I'd heard about the Absolute Catwoman. I was like, okay then.
Look at this. Absolute Superman number 12. The calm before the storm. Let's see. Brainiac had his way with Superman last issue, but now it's time for Superman to gain his bearings for the fight to come. Absolute 12 resets is a reset of sorts as the issue takes us back to key moments in Superman's time on Earth while Ra's al Ghul prepares to get Superman back. In a world where violence gets you more than kindness, can Superman break away from Brainiac's programming? It's question lingering in Superman and Lois and Jimmy figure out what to do next. Absolute 12 is much centered on Smallville, Kansas. There we go.
Oh damn, nice art.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice art. It's a lot. Let's see. Resets the stage with emotional resonance and flashbacks, peeling back Kal-El's layers while setting up a bigger confrontation to come. Thoughtful issue mixes myth, humanity, and atmosphere, though a few choices keep it from being a knockout. Let's see. Downfalls. Some art choices in the dinner scene feel misleading, undercutting the intended small town kindness message. Another downfall. Superman remains emotionally closed off, which may frustrate readers craving a more vulnerable hero. Well, fuck you, because this isn't for you. It's not for you. This is for us. Yeah, but no. Strong emotional beats tied to Smallville, blah blah blah. Clever twist on the Fortress of Solitude. I mean, this is current people that are involved right now. I mean, I'm not going to point out who's what, but I'm just saying the people that are currently writing comics right now and doing stuff right now. They're the same ones that are reviewing this stuff. So it's gonna be this. These reviews are like through those lenses, but read it for yourself, man. If you're from our era, you'll fuck with it. Moving on to video games real quick here. Coder remake is actually happening. Leaked images now off renders and features from Aspera Media. But if you, I mean, this like Knights of the Old Republic video game. Knights of the Old Republic 2 is like my favorite video game. Period. And Revan, one of the coolest characters. Yeah, Knights of the Old Republic. It is really important right now, because Disney Star Wars is so ass, and we need this kind of shit. This is Old Republic. Old Republic is where it's at. Let's see what we got. I haven't really looked at it yet. These are just little images that we got from the remake, and already, yeah, this is like way above anything the original game looked like. That's gonna look amazing. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Dope.
Yeah, Han Solo pistol.
Oh yeah. Here's some. So I see they're gonna. Okay. Now, obviously, this is super duper beta development, but yeah, it's gonna be third person. I mean, it's gonna look just like the original, but newer. That's dope. That's what we want. That's exactly what we want. Damn. Oh, the mods are gonna be insane in this game, dude. Insane. Okay, look. Gen X mom reenacts coming home from school in the 80s. This is what I wanted to show you. Nailed it. The best thing about growing up in the 80s was being allowed to grow up.
Yeah.
Gen X, made up of those born between 65 and 80, has many claims to fame in their younger years. Gen X brought the world Prince and Kurt Cobain. We were the Goonies and the Breakfast Club. We took down the Berlin Wall while watching MTV. But perhaps the most iconic thing about Gen X is our semi-feral childhoods of benign neglect. Standards of parenting and child rearing have shifted a lot in the past 40 to 50 years, as has the technological landscape that kids grow up in. So naturally, kids today won't have the same childhoods previous generations had, but there's something particularly nostalgic about being a child of the 80s for those who lived it. So let me ask you, Gen X, would you want your kid being raised as Gen X was? Latchkey, no notifications, no trackers where your kids are, a TV commercial reminding you that your kids reminding you that you have kids and where the fuck are they? I loved and survived my childhood. Where do you stand? Yeah, I definitely survived my childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gen X. We remember being outside all day, roaming the malls. We rode our bikes all over town, drank cheap alcohol in the woods till we puked, played neighborhood hide and seek, and did whatever the fuck we wanted until dark. Also, Gen X. How the fuck did we survive our childhood?
Play street football on the asphalt.
Yeah, during Christmas or leading up to Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the blizzards back in the day. The snow when it really snowed. You know, every winter it seemed to snow.
We'd
Go out and play football.
Yeah, we didn't get a lot down here. I mean, there was a time I remember when we would seem like we would get a little bit, every 5 years or so. But then now it's just it doesn't. It just pops up whenever. It's a very rare occurrence now. But back then it was only like 3 to 4 inches. It wasn't nothing crazy. Just enough to dust the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, we were excited, man. You couldn't tell us nothing.
We was making human tunnels in the snow.
Yeah. Caves and
forts. Yeah, man, had forts and everything. Like, and then you would battle everybody in the projects. All the kids got together and was battling. They had teams and stuff. It was.
My sister is really the only one that ever got to experience any kind of deep snow because when she'd moved to Utica, New York, when one of my nieces was born, and they got snowed in. They couldn't even get out of the apartment, and they were on the second story. If that told you anything.
Yeah, it got crazy back then with the snow.
bro.
I remember I was I had to be
She said it took them 3 days to get out.
I was 10. Check this out. Me and my brother were shoveling to get money. You know what I mean? We were shoveling different front yards and stuff like that, the porches and all that, right? And it started snowing like a blizzard. I kept going. My brother went home. He was like, "Nah, I ain't messing with this." I was like, "Yo," I kept going. I was going to knocking on people's door. You want me to clear your driveway in this? Yo, I was making bank, man. At 10.
I was making a killing.
You know what I'm saying? And Christmas of that year was great. I bought everybody a gift. I had mad dough. I was just raking it.
I remember buying my mom's stuff and my grandmother's stuff, my sister. I was cutting grass and I was doing any recycling stuff like cans and stuff.
That was the move in the 80s.
Yeah.
I swear.
I've been going at it since I was about 8 years old, man. I've been hustling since then.
Yep, that was the move because you got to go to arcades back then. We had
laundromats and shit.
Yeah. We wanted to play the arcade games because we had Nintendo at the time.
Mortal Kombat. Shit. That was what I was going after to play all the time. Back like Street Fighter 2.
My thing was Space Harrier.
Yeah.
I love
fucking Defender and Pac-Man.
It's the shit. I used to stay on. I almost missed
Galaga.
School bus playing that joint.
Played the hell out of Galaga, man.
We had a little deli, and Mr. Lee's Deli.
Yeah, we used to have a joint down here right in my neighborhood. It used to be called Evans Barbecue. You used to go in there and get sandwiches and stuff, and they had this floor unit. Back when they were, some of those arcades were floor units. Had the rollers, had the little ball on it. Yeah. So you don't see them the floor table, the tabletops.
Okay.
So it had Galaga and Pac-Man. It had all kind of Defender on it. And
yeah,
you don't see that stuff anymore.
Then Gen X, as Gen Xers, we used to go as long as we was home before the lights came on.
Yep.
Outside.
Yep.
We were good.
Yeah, we were good.
On Staten Island, man. We'd be on the other side of the island.
Oh yeah, bro. I was all over the place, bro.
I mean,
when I think about it, like
10 years old, bro.
Yeah, dog. And I was really out off the porch all over the place. Yeah. But it's crazy to think about now, man. In this day and age, like, and even growing up, I I wouldn't let my kids do what I did. Like that's the crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like it's just
well, only because the times have changed.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's the biggest thing.
World.
Yeah, the world is sicker. But back
that sort of wraps it full circle back to our topic, man.
Yeah.
Like the original topic of the show. But yeah, man, we gotta wrap it up anyway. But we've been on about almost 4 hours tonight, guys. It's been a long one, but it's been a good one. So as always, guys, thanks for coming on. And for anybody that is new to the show, like, subscribe, rewind it, watch from the beginning. We had a great show tonight, talking mainly about the Peacemaker episode 7. Yeah, man. So we'll see what happens next week in the finale. But other than that, man, next week we'll see you on Wednesday. We do this every Saturday, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. So yeah, man, be safe. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see y'all Wednesday. And don't forget,
be water, my friend.